All right, it's that time again. Centre Circle podcast. It's been a hell of a week in the world of football. Before we review fixtures and all of that, who's here? I'm John.
I'm Isaac.
Remembered your name this week, bro.
Wow.
It was quick as well.
Straight in there.
That's my bad.
Yeah,
Marky Mark.
T, you know what it is.
Man like Keith.
You're going to try not to be the highlight this week?
Yeah, try not to be mean
2
this
weeks
week.
running.
I don't know. I thought we might get you on a Liverpool game, but we'll get to that.
I'll be composed. Yeah, I'll
Hat-trick.
be composed.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So look, guys, I'm just going to dive straight in. P45 weekend. Managerial sackings has been mad. I don't like to make light of people losing their jobs, but when there's a multi-million-pound severance package that comes with it,
They're okay.
you're doing all right.
You'll survive.
Especially that Chelsea one.
Can I just say, I did say Potter wasn't the guy.
See, he's back from away.
I'm sorry, but I did
still.
say
I told you so, Isaac.
That's what we're doing.
I
We're
don't necessarily want us to be the guy that's doing the I told you.
No.
Wait, can we just recall who said he wasn't
Me.
going to get sacked? You said he wasn't
Oh,
going to
you
get sacked.
said he wasn't. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
I was doing the whole, actually, you know what? They bought Potter in because of the young players, blah, 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 blah. But Graham, mate, come on, man.
I don't even think he got sacked like that. I think it was mutual, bro.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think
I
that's
feel
what
like
they
he
said.
wanted out.
Well,
You feel like he packed it?
I never trust when they say
They
mutual,
didn't
I'm not
pay.
gonna lie.
They didn't. It was mutual, innit? So they didn't. Like, if they had cancelled his thing, they
Yeah,
would have
they
had
would
to
have
pay
to
him a
have
madness. But
compensation.
they just come up with
But
some
why would he agree?
mutual, innit?
Yeah,
No,
but
but-
he said
Cool.
remember he said the pressure, mental health, his family's been getting death threats.
True,
He might not
true.
be ready for this level. He might not be cut out for it. Maybe, I don't know.
It's
Might
not
not.
worth it as well.
Innit? Might not.
No, what I mean is the mental side.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
side of it. Some people don't care, but some people, you know,
Brighton's a different ballgame to Chelsea, boy.
This is
yeah,
it.
and
This is
and
it.
look, when you look at Graham, when you look at Potter's kind of track, I'm calling him Graham like he's in my WhatsApp. But when you look at Potter's track history, he's done fantastically well. But this level is very new to him, right? I know he's managed in the Prem, but even that, he didn't do that many clubs at Brighton level, right? So he's had a quick kind of rise. So maybe some of the stuff that did come with managing Chelsea was a little bit of a shock. It's been less than 7 months. When I saw that, I was surprised. I feel like he's been there a long time. The story, because there's a story every week, it feels like he's been a long time. But some cold stats, he's managed 31 games, 12 wins, 11 defeats, and 8 draws.
That's crazy.
It's,
I think for the talent that he's got there, it doesn't look good
no, it doesn't.
at all.
Mm.
But then on the flip side, you got to say, I think I mentioned it last time or the time before, how many of those were his signings?
True.
They made a bunch of signings in the summer transfer window, sacked Tuchel a week after
Yeah.
getting in play. So I think Aubameyang was Tuchel signing,
Mhm.
Yes.
and then they
He
got
was
rid
gone
of
a
him.
week later.
Apparently there was a clash between Bowley and Tuchel. Fair enough. So it's a bit of a thankless task for him. Like,
I agree, but I still think he can have done better with what it is. And I agree. I think there's nuances to it. But when you make certain decisions, you know, you're not scoring goals. And whatever you think about Aubameyang, whatever people feel about him, his record says he scores goals in this Premier League. When you're struggling to score goals in the Premier League and in Champions League, and he doesn't even make your squad, doesn't even make your matchday squad some days, that has to result in, you know,
Performances.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not happening. But Mark, I know you've got a view on the Potter Chelsea thing.
I personally don't think that because it's a new team, I think that's worked against him solely because not only are they a new team, they're also a very, very, very young team as well.
Yeah.
And any manager would have probably had issues gelling that team together. I don't think it's as straightforward as just coming in, you got all these millions, buy anyone you want. It doesn't gel that
You see
it doesn't
the
gel that
headlines?
quick.
Blah, blah, blah. Despite spending 200 and blah, blah, blah million in January.
Yeah.
We've said it before, that's not football.
I have to disagree. And I disagree on the fact that these are not. All right, let's not be too harsh and say that anyone can come in and manage them, but they're not crap players. These are
They have to gel though, man. They're
There's
young.
still a
high
lot of
level.
players though.
I
And
know,
there's a lot of players that ain't
high
playing.
level players, and I'm pretty sure they are good enough to beat some of the teams that they've lost to or drawn with. They're good enough
I don't
talents
think, I don't think that's the problem.
to pull
It's
something
not-
out the
I
bag.
think there's more to it. There's loads of players that come in, bro.
and they have to gel. It's not that
There's
straightforward.
loads of
Look at
personalities
Koulibaly as
that's
well.
come in. There's loads of players that ain't playing, that haven't played, that want to play, that want to move, that don't even want to be there.
But even when he
There's
played,
still more players to come at the
Yeah,
end of the
man.
season.
And Kuku's coming,
That's true. That's true.
But to that point, Tito, so if we look at, even a lot of the lineups he's had, right? He's not necessarily even sprinkling the new players in. He's using a lot of the players that were already there. Thiago, you've got Havertz was before him. Mason Mount is the darling of the club. Pulisic is,
not anymore.
So it's not like, well, he wants out. He wants a lot of money, apparently. So we're told.
Mason Mount.
Yeah,
I think they're pushing him out. I don't necessarily think it's a him problem.
The fans don't necessarily want
apparently
him.
the money he's asked for, he's not going to get. And I don't blame them. Anyway, we'll come on to Mount in a second.
Yeah, I think
But I don't think, sorry, 1 second. I just don't think that if he had ripped up the 11 and we're seeing all of these players starting, fine. But
I agree.
he's had, if you look at a lot of the lineups, he's had a good, 60-70% of that team are pre-spending spree. And the players he sprinkled in haven't been disastrous. João Felix probably be one of their better performing players.
Enzo's been
and
quality.
But I think
Okay.
him not having a settled team has gone against him. And fair enough, he's got a lot of players to choose from. And it takes a while to kind of, you can't really give them like 10, 15 minutes there to kind of judge whether they're good enough to be in the team. But I think if you look at all the top managers, they kind of have a good core where if you told me to name Chelsea's best or what Potter would think his best 11 is, I don't think he would know what his best 11
Well,
was.
he started his tenure with 9 games unbeaten. He started with that streak. So something was going right.
But he was still bringing the changes even then. Like it wasn't
But he's
a
trying to
settled team.
figure out the team he come into.
Yes.
He's trying to figure out that squad, and then they buy 50 players on top of it. Like, that's mad.
Yeah.
It's like that video I showed
crazy.
you.
Looking like pure gym.
I couldn't believe it. And even when you look at, they do the behind the scenes at Premier League clubs and that, you might see there's a lot of players there, but you'll be like, those are youth players. You'll see the guy number 72 on his tracksuit or something. But these were all, I was counting, I'm like, him. I was thinking,
They had a 34-man, they've got a 34-man first-team squad, which is ridiculous.
them rondos must be large, bro. But look, I think, I guess the point I'm making is, yes, circumstances weren't ideal. Then you have a manager who's stepping up to that level for the first time. So there's all of that comes with it. You're playing more games than ever. Weekend, midweek. At Brighton, he's probably used to having a team for the whole week to work through his what his plans are, etc. These are all the small things. And then the bit that you never know unless you spoke to him is how much is the pressure of being at Chelsea now? They paid a lot of money for him as a manager. The rumours are they paid 20 million to get him out of the Brighton contract.
That's mad.
So you play for a decent player.
And then paying him 12 million a year.
Right. So
crazy.
there's all of that stuff. Self-doubt, the imposter syndrome maybe. There's all of that. So
I don't blame Potter, man. I don't blame Potter in all of this.
No, you can't.
I don't blame him entirely, but I did look at some decisions.
There's some
like,
faults that he's made, obviously, but
yeah.
I don't blame him. I feel like he still deserves a job in the Prem.
Yeah,
I agree.
A good job as well.
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
And it's
He
probably
could
a
go
big
to-
job.
Okay, question. All right, so obviously I was quite critical in the sense that I don't feel like he had the experience or the know-how to step up to this job.
Yeah, but that's not critical
How-
of him, though,
okay,
to be
but-
fair. I think that was a fair
Hold on.
assessment.
But how do managers of his experience or upcoming get ready or get the experience or reach that level to manage big clubs or high-pressure situations
They
But
just
like
It's
Chelsea?
time.
Well, it's time. They generally do steps, right? So if you said to me, I'll design his career, he would have left Brighton and gone to a Leicester or an Everton or a Tottenham.
Someone said Villa.
Yeah, or Villa.
Yeah.
Someone said
He'd
Villa.
have probably done 2 jobs before he got the Chelsea job. in reality.
Okay, but then someone would say, look at what he's done with Brighton. He's taken them from potential relegation battlers to secure mid-table team.
Yes.
Obviously, De Zerbi's coming and taking them to the next level, but
Yeah.
he's done something that a lot of managers tend to struggle to do
Yeah.
with a very limited squad.
Yep.
So then you could argue that he's shown capabilities.
No, listen, I don't think Chelsea were wrong to look at him. And I think the approach they took was probably the right one, right? British
Long
club.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Up and coming manager. If we don't get him now, someone else might get him, etc. But I think the next step for him was go and manage a club that has aspirations to be a regular Europa
Yeah.
League and then if you have a fantastic season, knock on the door for Champions League. A bit like how Moyes Everton was, right?
So like Eddie Howe, what Eddie's Howe's
Exactly,
doing.
exactly.
But I think it's easy to say that now, based on how Chelsea have.
To be fair, a few
folded.
people said at the time.
At the beginning of his tenure,
Mm.
we wouldn't be talking like this. We wouldn't be talking
No,
about
I
a step.
slightly disagree. Just because when he got the job,
Mm.
everyone's first reaction was, "I hope he does well." It wasn't, "He's going to do well."
Yeah.
And I think everyone was saying, "I hope he does well," based on the fact that it might have just been a reach too far for him. Like just like John said, one job too soon.
I think that's based on how Chelsea sack managers. I don't think that's based
No,
on
I
Potter
think it was
himself.
just based on him doing well at Brighton
Mm.
to get looked at for big jobs. But that Chelsea job comes with a lot of
I'll be
expectations,
honest.
etc.
I thought he was going to do well at first, yeah? I was a bit
I thought he was
skeptical of
gonna
his
do
I think we talked about this before. The attacking at Brighton, I was not on the Graham Potter bandwagon. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was blunt. But I thought, you know what? You've got the tools now. You're going to do well. When he started playing Raheem Sterling at wing back, you know, I said, no.
It was working for a
I
while.
said,
though.
this stubbornness might come back to shooting the foot because he was so far away from goal getting the ball sometimes. I was watching it thinking,
Yeah, it's crazy.
you got us. And then, to be fair to him, that changed later, right? Raheem Sterling started to play in the front three, etc. But look, you know, and then you got some significant defeats. You lost 4-1 to Brighton. You know, you got slapped by Man City 4-0 in the FA Cup. Again, it's football. But when I've brought you to Chelsea, when you got the talent that's there, forget what the players I've bought. The talent you came to meet there, those results are going to be hard to swallow. So,
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
so yeah. Well, look, thinking about the managerial merry-go-round as it is, Brendan Rodgers has left Leicester by mutual consent. Depending what article you read, he got sacked.
I think they're all sackings. I don't think they're mutual consent, man. I don't think maybe the Potter one. You might be right, but I don't think the manager goes to the owner and says, "You know what?
Conte was a sacking.
I don't think
that
that's
weren't mutual.
That weren't
He
mutual.
would
None
just
of these
stay in
things,
that
man.
chair
But
and
they tried to
cuss
say
them
mutual.
until you sack me
So,
and
yeah.
pay me. You're gonna pay me
It makes the club
for
look
me
better,
to be
don't it?
here.
Apparently,
I
that's the
agree.
difference, isn't
I
it?
agree.
Mutual consent is, Mark, I don't think this is working out. And you're like, you know what?
Yeah,
I agree.
exactly.
So let's come to an agreement. When it's a sacking, it's like, I don't think it's working out. Nah, man. I want more time. I reckon if I get to the end of the season, I could do X, Y, Z. And they're like, no, you're done today, innit?
Yeah, but you know, like in like the corporate world, for example, yeah. If there's someone not doing their job,
Yeah.
you get called in with HR.
Yeah.
It's a sacking,
Yeah.
but they're gonna say, "Listen, don't worry. Your next job, you can come to us for
It depends,
for
though.
a reference.
It depends.
We're not gonna put it down on your record as a sacking. That's a sacking, bro.
No, but I've
But
seen
they put it down as mutual
agreements in corporate world. It's the thing of, look, this isn't working out for us. It's clearly not working out for you. Here's some P's. You can't work for 3 months and you can't say anything about it. That's a mutual agreement. You're like, all right, cool. If you want to fight it, then I've got to decide if I've got to fire you and you might sue me later.
But it stems from a sacking. It stems from the higher up saying, "We're gonna get rid of you. Let's come to an agreement."
Sometimes it's this isn't working out. What do you think? And then it's for you to now prove how you're going to fix it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that's where I think Potter might have said, you know what, you man,
Aye, the Potter one, I
this
think.
is mad.
But the Potter one is,
You might
I
be
swear
like-
they got in someone from Brighton.
Yeah,
Someone
but
that he
they
knows,
brought him
innit?
back.
Bruno
That's why
Solo, whatever his name
Higher up
negotiations
though.
took so long.
Higher up guy, innit?
Oh, you're talking about that?
Director of football?
Yeah.
Yes, he came as well.
So they're saying he knows him
Yeah,
properly, innit,
yeah.
from Brighton. So they, what I've seen is that he had a good chat with him and said, "You know what?
Yeah, you know how this goes.
Let me
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's cool, man.
You know how this goes.
Yeah.
So based on that, that's a second, right?
Winking the gun.
That's not
Yeah.
That's not Graham.
We
Gallagher.
know, but we know what it is.
I
We know what
honestly
it is.
feel like Graham
Yeah, I
Potter
think
was
he
cool.
agreed.
He might have been cool of it.
Yeah.
He might be like, "Yeah, you know, I'm
think,
thanks for saving me."
And
I slightly feel like that was the case for Brendan though. Because
Yeah, apparently that was
Leicester
Leicester as well.
Leicester were on a free fall.
Mm.
They haven't shown any signs of progression in quite a while.
I thought
You
that
think
was
he
gonna
went to the
happen
bosses?
a long time ago.
It's mad
Not a
though
long time
because
ago, but-
pre-World Cup, they were on a decent run. They hadn't conceded in
Yeah,
like
decent.
4 or 5
But-
games. They were like going the right way up the table. World Cup came, and then since then, I think they're bottom of the form table
But
since
then
the World
that's-
Cup.
This is the problem with the Premiership.
And that's like
Yeah.
the stat you guys pulled up on Patrick Vieira. What was it? He hadn't
He hadn't won a game this calendar year.
Yeah,
exactly. So, it's free fall. And
Well-
it just seems like every manager that's been in that free fall since the World Cup, their time's pretty much coming to an end. So
I think the
it's,
nuance is some of the is the circumstances. So again, Brendan Rodgers got a lot of rope because they didn't give him any players to sign. I think between the 2 windows, he signed 2 players permanently 3 players permanently and got a player on loan.
Yeah, and he was vocal about that. as
Yeah.
well.
That's why I
when you-
thought he was going to go. Because he was vocal about that.
Yeah. And then when you're selling players like Fofana for 70 million, you know, but
the
they
guy
had-
wanted to go though, man. You can't. I'm not keeping Fofana. He clearly wants to go.
No, but
I'm
what I'm
not
saying is, if I'm Rodgers, I can't reinvest that money now. And he was a good player for
That's
them,
the,
etc.
that's the owner's fault.
So, but they made a massive loss, and it comes back again to the business. I think that the loss they made last year was 96 million. You know, it was a significant loss.
Mm.
The COVID runoff. So they're trying to manage the club in a way, and they thought Rodgers being there meant they could probably get through it, get to a point of stability, and then he could do more with it. But that loss left them in the relegation zone.
Losing to Palace was always going to be the final straw, simply because they got rid of
Their
Patrick
manager,
Vieira.
yeah.
They've come in with a new manager and beaten you,
Yeah.
and they haven't won any games until now. So it's like, bye-bye.
Football's a cruel game, you know,
Yeah.
because one of the
Yeah,
goals that
it's-
helped you came off the crossbar and hit
your keeper.
That's
in the back.
mad.
That's
No,
one of the
I'm
goals
not-
that beat you.
That's
And
mad.
I'm
then he
not
let
gonna
Mateta
lie.
score.
When they let Schmeichel go and replaced him with Danny
Yeah,
Ward,
that was the end.
I'm surprised Rodgers lasted.
Listen,
No, but that's another thing. If I'm Rodgers, I've lost Casper Schmeichel. Can I have some money to get a different keeper? And they say no. Well, he might have been him walking out.
But
Saying,
again,
you can't replace it with these players.
Rodgers, is he like, oh, thank you.
he is. I think he leaves with his head held high.
Do
I
better.
don't know, you know. Rodgers
Nah,
got a bit of an ego, you know.
Nah, he leaves with his
No,
head
no.
held high. I think. I
Yeah,
don't think. I think he
I
gets
think
something.
he's alright. Yeah,
Like,
he's alright.
he's-
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't think he'd like. I don't think he took it on the chin. I think he'd like.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
turn this around.
Yeah.
Nah, I disagree.
Nah, he was
I think he's
complaining
been there
as
long
well.
enough. I think he's been there long enough. Like you said, he was vocal in about the lack of signings. I feel like this is perfect timing with the merry-go-round of managers leaving. He's probably thinking, I can get one of those jobs.
So, okay, so
Oh, you got a point, you know.
yeah, and that's the thing, because we've seen the Rodgers career, and he's one of the people that we can probably opine a little bit more on how he talks because he's so open, you know, when his players, what he's doing. I'll be honest, he probably doesn't feel like he should even be at a club like Leicester.
Yeah.
After what he did with Liverpool, you know, he's had to kind of go around, you know, coming second in the league, bro. He probably feels like, I'm going to do my thing with Leicester, and then one of these other jobs comes back, I should be where I should be.
Apparently,
Was
went to
it-
the Arsenal one.
I was going to say, there was talk about him coming to
Yeah.
Arsenal. I'd be very surprised if he is not in the running, pretty serious running for the Spurs job.
Yep.
He's not getting a Chelsea job. But I would be surprised if he's not, you know, if he's not putting his hand in hard for the Spurs job.
I think he'd do pretty well at Spurs.
Yeah.
I don't want him
think
to do well, obviously, but I think he'd do
No,
a decent
look, I
enough
think
job.
Brendan Rodgers has shown that he's got the capability to get people to where they want to get to. I think the question about him was he was a manager that sort of bottled it, right? You know, when it was time, a bit like what we said about Southgate, when it was a crucial moments, when it's a crucial games, his game management, he kind of bottled it.
They should have
Nah.
had top 4 in one of those.
Yeah.
In two,
So-
at least one of those 2 seasons, they finished 5th.
Yeah. But then he would argue he kind of, that ghost has gone with the FA Cup, right? And if you're in Leicester's history, there's Claudio Ranieri manager-wise,
Yeah.
and now Brendan, because within this period of time, they've won the league and now they've won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
You know? And a 45% win percentage is nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah, it's not.
2 fifth place finishes is not a joke. So, I agree with you. I think he's thinking, you know what? Before this job, so you didn't give me the tools I needed. So I'm working with what I've got. I lost one of my best defenders. Before this job drags me further away from the jobs I actually want, you know what? Let's part ways now. It's all good. And selfishly, and sorry, Brendan, that's not what you're thinking, the relegation is not on his CV.
Yeah,
They get
I was thinking
Mm.
that.
If a man comes in next week and he still gets relegated, it's on his CV, not
Yeah.
Brendan's.
Yeah.
You know, and Brendan's probably hoping he's trying to convince Harry to.
How many
stay.
points are they? How many points have they got? How close are they to the relegation though?
It's still tight.
It's tight,
I don't
yeah.
think the spread is that big.
Where are they? Because I think between
They're second bottom.
20th and
Second
13th, second from bottom.
Yeah, that
Swear.
defeat made them.
And it's still tight down there. I mean, this is the big issue, and this is probably one of the reasons why Vieira had to go, right? Because as has been talked about much, there's no mid-table. So you've got Chelsea in 11th with played 28 games on 38 points. In 12th, there's Palace, played 29 games, and they've got 30 points. So basically, from 11th downwards, you lot are fighting your own fight.
It's a different league altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So between Crystal Palace and the bottom team is 7 points. But between Crystal Palace and the team, 18th is 4 points. It's tight. And those teams have got a game in hand. West Ham have got 2 games in hand on Palace and they're 3 points behind.
That's mad.
So, but they all played each other. It's that part of the season where they're all playing each other. So, they're second from bottom, point behind Everton. It's such a scrap. I don't even know why you'd get rid of him now. I agree with T. I think he's gone to them and said, look, this isn't working. Because who are you gonna bring in that's better than Brendan Rodgers? Really? Like, who's actually better than him? Unless you go old school and get Sam Allardyce off his chair, right? Or one of the other, the escape artists. You can't tell me they're gonna get a higher caliber manager than Brendan Rodgers to come and do something in this last 10 games for them. I can't see it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he drove that exit.
I think it was to what Isaac said. He's seen the opportunities elsewhere. Yeah. And like you said, I think I can get one of those, particularly the Spurs job. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, you know what, let me try and get a role there. Yeah. It's easier for me to get a job.
I'm going to go against the grain and say I don't see him doing well at Spurs.
No.
I don't think so.
I can see it.
Well at Spurs.
I don't think so either.
Not with that. Especially with the fans there. Like, I don't think
that's because of Spurs, though. I think you can look at any manager going into Spurs and think.
I think he'll play decent football. He'll try and play decent football.
Right, this is not a shot. Yeah, this is not a shot. Right,
it's a shot.
This is a disclaimer. You know when you say no disrespect, they disrespect someone. But the Brendan Rodgers team that he did well with, that he got to second. Yeah. Is it that much different to this team? Wait, let me finish.
Which team?
With this Tottenham team now, right? Just with the fact of wait.
I thought you were talking about the Liverpool team, the Spurs team.
No. So the Liverpool team
that is mad disrespectful.
Wait, man, can I finish?
Not even the Liverpool team.
Let me finish. You know why I say that? Because he had a couple of aliens. He had Steven Gerrard, the Suarez. He's gonna go to Tottenham. He's got Harry Kane. He's got Son. Actually, as a team and the component parts. Is it that different a challenge to what he did with that team overachieved slightly?
The components are not that different.
Yeah.
But that season we finished second. We had no European football. He sacrificed the cups. So he just put everything into the league. And he won't have that luxury at Tottenham. Because Tottenham will probably finish in a European place. He'll have to navigate Europe as well as the league.
But he could do that prioritisation you talked about. If he goes to Tottenham and wins the Carabao, Cup,
could he do a FA Cup or a Carabao Cup at Tottenham?
I think he could. You don't think he could?
I think he could easily.
You got to remember, at Liverpool, we had Sturridge, Suarez,
different
Sterling,
Coutinho,
Gerrard.
Right.
When you were saying they got the same kind of player, I was about to, because they ain't.
Yeah.
I was getting through because
they got Kane. They got Kane.
No,
that's it.
You get Son firing again. Come on.
It's true.
It's
true. Kulusevski, Richarlison is not the worst player in the world.
I just think.
So yeah, you're right. It's not the same, but you can see where I was going, right? He could go down and Carabao Cup. He could go down and win FA Cup.
He could.
But okay, so let's say he goes there and wins FA Cup or Carabao Cup and finishes 8th.
Yep.
I know they get the monkey off the back of winning a trophy.
Yep.
But finishing 8th for Tottenham is really not good enough, is it?
It'll be good for him. It's all right.
Not really.
He wins a cup at Tottenham. That's all right.
No, winning the cup, you like I say, you get that monkey off your back, but you can't be.
It's a trade-off.
But who's to say he's going to finish 8th though? If he's winning the cup, I think he's having a decent season. So he'll probably finish higher than
not
that.
necessarily.
You see the league.
Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated.
Yeah, that's Wigan, bro.
They didn't have Harry Kane in their team doing golden boot every bloody
I'm saying,
apart from this season.
It don't matter where they finish in the league because they ain't finishing top. So they might as well take a cup.
I'm not going to lie. I think Spurs fans would take a cup.
Yeah.
Just
You think they take
if
a
it's
cup
just
in
one
8th?
season, I think they'll take that.
To give Spurs,
know.
okay, let's be more realistic.
No European ball the next season, a cup, and we can now focus on the league.
Yeah,
bro.
Facts.
I was even gonna say, let's not be alarmist. Europa League, you qualify for Europa League, and they win FA Cup. Bro, they will be carrying.
Yeah, that's different.
They'll be carrying him down Tottenham High Road, bro.
Facts.
Yo, crazy.
Facts.
They might even put a statue of him next to Glenn Huddle.
Yeah.
So let's see how it shakes out. If I'm Tottenham, maybe they should be a little bit more ambitious than that. But
Yeah, I agree.
And more ambitious than Brendan Rodgers.
yes,
Who? If Nagelsmann don't get the Chelsea job, then maybe him.
Nagelsmann is not going to.
I agree. He is
But then that's what I'm saying. But who then? Who? I can't see them.
you can always go and poach another manager. You don't have to wait for the people that are in the
Luis
job.
Enrique and
Yeah.
Nagelsmann are the two
But
top
Luis Enrique
guys,
already
right?
said, "I'm not coming Prem."
That-
Is it?
Oh, is it?
Right.
I was thinking he might look at Chelsea because they can afford him.
Yeah, he would think he's a Chelsea manager. I think
Potter,
for Spurs.
Yeah.
But
Brendan Rodgers.
But we said Potter more suits Leicester than Spurs. Like again,
Yeah.
if we're saying Chelsea is a bit too far a reach for Potter, Spurs are not that far off.
Yeah.
So I'd say he needs to go in at
but it's more of a
Fit.
like he can just sort that squad out.
Yeah.
But
And also,
again,
Then having the madness
it's the
going
whole
on.
kind
Keith,
of.
before you do that, let me throw something your way. And Potter is not going to be banging on your door saying, spend this amount, spend that amount.
No, that's Grant. So that's kind of Levy's kind of guy. But again, you'll still have big players that you've got to manage. And like the reports that are coming out, I know it's not funny, but like some of the French players were calling Graham Potter Hogwarts.
No,
because of like the whole Harry Potter thing. And
that's just football banter, isn't it?
No, but they were like, they didn't really have the respect for him, innit? So I think you go in at a Leicester level, get your career back on track, and then try and work your way up again. Like it
is mad though. We've got 3 open jobs in the Prem. There's been 13 managerial changes this season already. Like that's crazy. And I was saying to Mark before, I said, I think I can't remember a time where, between sort of 8 to 10 games, depending on where you are, about games you've played, so many people have pulled the trigger. Normally it's at Christmas because of that famous stat, right? If you're bottom at Christmas or you're near bottom at Christmas, statistically you're not going to get out. But I think where the table is and the fact that everyone's got a chance, 2 wins, especially 2 wins against those around you, can just entirely change the season. Those could be 100 and 150 million pounds, 6 points, 6 to 9 points. So that's why people, I think, feel that they could change now. But it's a remarkable situation to be in now, because no one is too safe. No one is too good and no one's too safe.
What about Company and Carrick?
Too early.
I think it's too early. He needs to come up with Burnley and just stay with Burnley for a season.
And I don't think Company takes that job. I think if you ring him, well, to a limit, everyone likes her.
All right, wait. So I got another question.
Yeah.
So it's kind of meshes with Potter as well. If you get the phone call, do you go?
If you're Vincent Kompany, depending on who it is.
Does anyone ever stay and think, you know what, I'm doing well, I'm learning and I'm here?
It's tricky. You got real belief in your career trajectory. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If I'm Vincent Kompany, I'm not going.
But who's ever said
he says sitting in the chair in East London? But yeah,
that's a good question. I was sitting there thinking that's a good question. I actually can't think of anyone that's.
I'll take that away.
That's got the big call and say, early on. You know what? I'm still learning. I'm gonna do what I'm doing here. Because if Potter stayed at Brighton, he'd be calm. Like he's cool. He probably would have walked straight into that Tottenham job.
Yeah,
and it would have been a better time. It would have been better timing. It would have been better,
better project.
Better project.
Yeah,
but 12 million a year.
That's the other thing. Money in it.
Let me not discredit him. Yeah, it's not just the money, but as a coach, especially where he started, right? He started university football. Like this is what all of that work's been.
Yeah. When did he manage against Arsenal? Like
in the Europa League,
2013 or something.
It wasn't that long ago, right? And now Chelsea are calling me to come and manage that team. I'm going.
Yeah. But what I didn't like about Potter, he kind of changed his whole style. Like he was turning up in like turtlenecks.
Come on, bro.
Coming out like the milk
went
train.
to A-Star Barbers.
Listen, you have to
the Americans got hold of him, mate.
When in Rome. Yeah? When in
Rome. See, I disagree because I think he kind of went against a philosophy. Like I had never seen Potter in a suit before. I've been managing him for like 10 odd years.
What's that got to do with the team he picks and the training ground and all that? We had this conversation about Sean Dyche, remember?
No, I understand that, but if you kind of see someone swaying so far from what you know,
it shows
you're
mental,
like,
innit?
what's this guy doing?
I wouldn't be surprised if when he got to Chelsea, they said, "Look, you're at Chelsea now. You have to look a certain way.
I'll play the part.
You have to, I won't be surprised, bro.
But I don't think they can talk like that to people like Conte and that. I don't think they're chatting to people like Conte.
But Graham Potter's not Conte. You're on the come up.
Yeah, but Lampard's walking up and down that sideline in tracksuits and
Gilets trying to respect Lampard to a legend. He was wearing suits. Lampard was wearing suits.
I didn't see him with a suit on the side.
He's wearing like a little nice coat.
I think I only saw him with a suit once.
Instead of coat. What suit did he have on?
He was wearing a suit still. I can show you still. I'll put it up.
Yeah, I don't think. I bet the players had to tell him what stadium to go to. Like, come on.
Nah, bruv. There's a liaison officer for them team there. Look. At the end of the day, fair enough. But look, no one was saying anything. Bruv, Brendan Rodgers did the same thing. But he did it on the slide. But I remember he come in with Firmino's teeth and he glowed up differently. Do you not remember? Nah, it's the same. I don't blame him for that. At the end of the day, he probably felt he stepped up another level. It's the same. Like even at work, when you go for work for certain businesses, you think, you know what? I need a new suit.
I gotta come correct.
Yeah.
I think like you kind of lose a bit of your essence, innit? Like
by changing what you're wearing.
Bruv, it's comfortability.
Nah, man. But he's not wearing the suits.
Comfortable.
He's not wearing the suits in training.
Exactly.
He's still wearing tracksuits in training. Am I wrong though? He's only wearing suits now to match day. He's not wearing it in training.
I don't believe in any of that rubbish, bro. As long as on the training ground, man, them are respecting what you're saying and they're applying it. It don't matter.
I don't think they was listening.
I don't.
To him. I think the whole of Chelsea is in tatters, bro.
Yeah.
Remember what I said? He's laid back.
Personally,
Bro, I think that doesn't help. Bro. Being too laid back with big egos in your squad, you can't do it. Don't work.
To your point though, you know, Abramovich was known as a really ruthless owner.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a stat the other day. He didn't sack 2 managers in one season. Even he didn't do that.
And Bowley said we're not going to be a sacking club. Like when they took over,
but I think he
out.
left him no choice.
I know, but like he came out and said that's not what we're going to be, and he sacked.
Yeah. They gave him lots of chances, bro.
However, he was in no chance of getting relegated. He's 8 points ahead of the next team.
No, I don't even think it was relegation was in their minds, bro. I honestly believe, this Todd Bowley guy is mad. and he's just doing whatever he wants to do. He thought, do you know what? Because I heard them talking about Arsenal and the Arsenal project. He thought, Graham Potter, he's done it at Brighton. He's an even better version than Arteta because he's even done it.
Started, it was just a second.
So I'm gonna bring him in. We're gonna revamp the whole team, young players, and then try and just give him the time. But it don't work like that, bro.
But the thing is, they built a platform for the next manager. You should have just stuck with it. You've got decent young players, right? You give him a full pre-season because he's not getting relegated. Cool. You're not getting Champions League. That's done. So see how he gets on, and then even if you get to October because you'd have had a good amount of games and you fire him, he can say there's no complaints there. You've given him a full pre-season. You've got the people at the door that you want to get out the door. Fine. I don't understand sacking him now. I'll be honest. There's no danger to the plans of the club. It can't get much worse. Even if you bring someone in now, they can't achieve something Graham Potter wasn't going to achieve. The only thing is the Champions League.
We had this conversation outside. So when it comes to the relegation teams, they're frightened of getting relegated.
Yes.
Chelsea, like we said earlier, they're probably looking at their people, the managers that are available right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's snap him.
Strike with
it might even be Nagelsmann because I don't know who else is available, but they're probably just trying to think, let's snap up Nagelsmann.
Do you think Nagelsmann does well though? Like,
I think he's another Potter, to be honest. I think he's a German Potter. He's German, right?
Yeah.
You think
a couple people saying this is the first time Nagelsmann's been put under pressure in terms of a coaching job, and he hasn't excelled in terms of he hasn't kind of taken Bayern Munich to their dizzy heights that they're normally around. So when he's been kind of challenged with Dortmund and Union Berlin, it's a bit under pressure. So like he comes to the Premiership where you've got 4, 5, 6 teams fighting for the top 4, pressure every week.
Yeah, it's a risk.
Okay, but the pressure on the Bayern Munich hot seat is a bit different. It's the same kind of pressure that is on the PSG hot seat in terms of if it's not League and Champions League, you're out the door.
Yeah.
Whereas at Chelsea, you kind of have a little bit less pressure. Okay, they just want top 4 as the bare minimum and a trophy.
You think
also
like top 4's bare minimum for Chelsea?
Right now,
like Bowley?
Right now, it's the bare minimum.
So when you say right now, he comes in this season.
No, I'm Chelsea don't get the players they need to get out.
As a manager, I think that for Potter, the bare minimum was the objective.
Next season will be bare minimum.
I don't think that would be for Nagelsmann. I think if Nagelsmann comes in this season, they finish maybe like 7th.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then next season, I don't think Bowley says, I'm happy with top 4.
No, I don't think happy, but you're not losing your job.
Yeah. But at the very minimum, you should even be thinking about is top 4. I don't want to hear in the boardroom, if we don't finish top 4, well, at least we'll get Europa. I don't want to hear that.
If Nagelsmann comes in, they probably...
I want to hear we're on track for the title, but if, with Liverpool, we were on track for the title, but if all else fails, we just ran into one of those seasons where City were just that step better. I think for Chelsea, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm still jury's out for Nagelsmann.
Top 4.
But I think that's right. People talk about Nagelsmann like he's already 30. To be honest, I look at him kind of like Mikel Arteta, but a few seasons on, right? He's 35. Yeah, he was amazing for a young manager. Got a big job early. But even Bayern, that's not the first manager to go there and have a madness with the hierarchy there, right? It's a bit like the whole Dutch situation. It's all ex-Bayern players, ex-German legends. They're way on the highway kind of vibe. If you listen to a lot of the German football journalists, they say that regularly. So I just think that what you have Nagelsmann is he's someone that's very steadfast in his beliefs. I mean, he's a 2-show apprentice, so that doesn't surprise. They're very clear about how they want things to work and how it should go. So I don't think it's too much of a stain that it didn't work out there. It's not like the guy was second. They were doing their thing. They're in the latter stages of the Champions League. Actually, it's all going to plan. They're not obliterating the league, but it wasn't in that much danger. They could have still won it.
I think Pep Guardiola spoiled them.
In what sense?
Yes.
By clearing up the league every season by February.
Yeah.
Almost every season.
But they were winning it before.
They were winning it.
No,
Yeah,
but
but
they
not- just
weren't
not
winning it.
They weren't winning it 4 months in advance.
No, they weren't winning it like that.
Yeah, they weren't moving like
I think Pep, the way Pep dismantled that league and kind of held them. Obviously, Pep's gripe or the gripe with Pep from Bayern was that he didn't win the Champions League.
Yeah.
But so obviously they had right. Well, you know, you got to go. But I think they're spoiled in the sense of they're used to that now, or they think that should be how it is.
Yeah.
We have the talent, we have the resources. We should be clearing that league up. It's been
They
done.
really
It's been
should
proven.
be, though. They should
They
be.
should
though.
be.
Yeah, they should be.
So I think that's why if as a manager you're not doing that, which is what we've seen with Nagelsmann, there's a door, mate.
But I think anyone who employs Nagelsmann should do it in the right guise. As in, this is a young manager. We're gonna grow with him,
Give him time.
rather than almost like he's a 30 top elite manager. He's not that. He's not that yet. You know, he's on his way there, and he got in the game early, but he's not that yet. And I think if you look at how he's talked about in football media, he's kind of talked about like he's a 30 elite manager, and he's not. You know, he did very well for a young guy. I mean, managing Bayern Munich at that age is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just a joke. So if I'm Chelsea, I don't even think Nagelsmann who you go for. I think they should be trying to talk to Luis Enrique. You know, you've won the Champions League, you've done well with Spain. Come and kind of prove your methodologies in this league. You know, all that kind of stuff. But we'll see. Because
Would you bring in someone now?
Hmm?
Would you bring in someone now? Well, you have to kind of in the Champions League, but would you bring in someone now? Just wait until.
No, I would just wait. Like I said, they're not in danger of relegation. The only problem, like you say, Champions League. I mean, do you want the gentleman Bruno Salto? He's taken over to the end of the season. Do you want him, you know, going head to head with Carlo Ancelotti over 2 legs? You don't really. You want someone in that could maybe pull something out of the bag.
Why not?
Why not?
They've done it before and they won the Champions League. Did Matteo come in for 6 months?
But bro, that ownership, that's different ownership. Somebody's not going to look at it like that. Yeah. So otherwise, if it weren't for that, you might as well just let him run it out to the end of the season. Work hard to get the right person, then get them in.
I'm just thinking about the timing of
Yeah.
a manager coming in
Yeah, I agree.
with all that. It's too chaotic.
How many games
Coming
left?
in-
What, 10?
Yeah, 10 or 9, depending.
9,
Well,
yeah,
for
10.
Chelsea's 10 games.
If they don't want to lose him, now will be the time.
Yeah. It's interesting. The managerial merry-go-round. All right, on that note then, let's get into the results of the weekend. As I can see my screen. So, 12:30 Saturday. You know, as an Arsenal fan, my team's at the top.
Yeah, man.
To a storyteller.
City I'm just doing my job. You know what I mean? City are chasing us for the title. You would hope that another top team could slow them down a bit, put a little bit of pressure. No, these fools capitulate.
How wrong was we, bro? we was excited though. I was excited. 1-0.
1-0 up. We was cheering.
You see when that goal went
1-0.
in?
Buzzing.
If you had a camera in my house, you see when that goal went in, you'd think that I've been standing in the cop end all my life. The way I celebrated my front room, bruv.
Singing,
Telling
never
you.
walk alone, everything, bro.
I
was with you,
bruv, if there was a Liverpool shirt around, I would award it. No, I'm joking. Never. But guys, talk to me, man. Seriously, what's
Do you
going
know
on?
what, right? When we went ahead, I knew what was coming in the second half. And I'll tell you why. Because City always do this. You shock them in the first half. They go in the changing room. It's like Pep starts gripsing man up and telling him to wake up. And they literally come out in the second half a completely different team. It's like they just turn the screw. The pressure goes through the roof and they just obliterate teams. They've done it against, was it Villa at the end of the season? These are just notable times they've done it. They've done it against us before. They've done it against other teams as well this season where halftime people are panicking and I'm sitting there opening up my betting app thinking, all right, is the price good enough to slap on City winning? Because this is just normal for them.
But it's the manner of it though, Keith. So you look at the team you've got. You're not having a great season, right? But people still have an expectation that a team like yours it's big games, big team, that you're gonna turn up and put in a certain type of performance.
Yeah, and like I sent the screenshot to the group, like in the mini league of the top 6 teams against each other, we're top of it.
Yeah.
I think on Saturday, even though we went 1-0 up, we were the second best team.
Yeah.
I think we were quite lucky to get to half time at 1-1. And I think on Saturday, we met a City team where 95% of their players were playing at 9 or 10. And I don't think that's happened that many times for City this season. And I think we were just the unfortunate team. Like, we've been quite critical of Jack Grealish since his move to City. I think he was the best player on the pitch by far.
Mahrez not playing, no?
No, Grealish was the best player.
Grealish was the best.
I think Grealish was the best player on the pitch.
No,
But that's me saying Mahrez was a 9. So Grealish was a 10. Mahrez was a 9 or 9.5. De Bruyne was a 9. John Stones was dropping into midfield, popping balls around. Henderson and them man for fun. We just turned up and we played against a better team. Like,
yeah, it was mad.
And I think where Liverpool at a point in their season, or I say a point in the season, it's been shown all season in certain games that if a team comes out and puts it on us, we capitulate, and that's what happened.
I mean, you had 4 shots.
All right, mate. Now he's turning up to Joe.
4. I'm just trying to quantify the.
It's just disappointing, man.
I mean, they have 17 shots.
But the thing is, like, for you, you're saying it's disappointing because you had something riding it because of who you support.
So it wasn't disappointing for you.
But I've been seeing this all season.
But what was it disappointing for you then?
Not particularly. Like, it's never good to lose a game. But when you, like I said, when you see how Liverpool's pattern of play this season, it's not surprising.
Doesn't mean it can't be disappointed. Just because you expect it doesn't mean the disappointment doesn't.
Oh yeah, like I said, no one likes losing, etc. But you know what I mean.
And Grealish is the last defender, you know, tackling Salah.
Now he's the best English player in the world. That one tackle, that's all they needed. That's all they needed to see.
Yeah.
When he was doing that, he was moving like Maldini.
Bro,
couldn't believe
the
it.
pundits, starting to click now.
Shows,
he's listening to Pep now. He's got it now. All for that one tackle.
To be fair, you watched the game. Guys went in 1-1 at half time. Yes, Man City was still better in the first half, but it just felt like when that second goal went in, the body language changed. Like, the stuffing was knocked out of everyone.
And when
people
did that
were doing what
again?
they wanted to do. And
when did that happen last? Real Madrid, same thing.
Yeah.
Early goal, second half, heads drop.
Because I actually think,
at
first I thought they could smash and grab a draw here. Like, if the second half was like the first half, I actually thought you lot could smash and grab a draw. Like, you know, be under pressure. But things just went crazy.
Whose fault was that?
Well,
I say it's Klopp's, to be fair.
Nah, do you know what?
No plan B.
Well, I don't know. Look him turning the screw.
Wait, before you get to the plan B bit, he did try and make some small tweaks. He pushed Trent up against on Man City's left side, but again that left lots of space in behind. And the thing about Pep teams, they don't even take 5 or 10 minutes to punish you. When you make a tweak and you leave space, it's like he sends something on his phone and it just all goes through to their brain and they just pick it up straight away. Because then they just exploit that space behind Trent. It was just crazy. So I think he didn't have an overall plan B. You're right. You know, he did switch the whole formation, but he did try and make tweaks, try and close down certain gaps, certain avenues. But it was in that middle of the park. That's where you lot lost it.
I'll be honest with you, and to Keith's point, I don't think any kind of tactics that Klopp would have employed would have made a difference. I think City were just too good that day, number one. And number two, Liverpool as a whole and individually are just not on par this season. I think there are certain parts of certain players within the team, like Mark said, Van Dijk, Trent, Thiago wasn't even available. Fabinho, thank you. That's what I was saying. Fabinho, Henderson. There are certain players that you can pick out, and if parts of the whole are not clicking, then the whole is just not. It's not going to work as a team. But like I said, I don't think any tactics, any changes, any tweaks. I don't think anything other than literally parking the bus and going 4-1-5 or something. It's just, do you know what I mean? Or 5-5-4.
Pep went to a back
no matter what,
went to a back three.
I would have tried that. You've still got the players to break. Why not go?
No, but they don't play like that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They just don't play like that. They play one way. In my eyes, that's what.
Them kind of scorelines are likely to happen when you play a team like a Liverpool because they're not going to just park the bus. If you played Newcastle, Man City might have only scored one goal.
Exactly.
And I think Klopp knows when he's getting a poor performance from his team. And I've said it a couple of times. He has struggled with in-game management at times. I think if you go back 2-3 years, when you go out and blitz the team,
there's
2-3-0, you don't really need to tweak anything.
Yeah.
But there's been a few times when you're like, right, we need to do something now. You need to like show your managerial credentials. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but there's been a few times where you look in game, what are you going to do? Okay.
But has he got the tools to change it though? Because again, I think yesterday, where someone might have made drastic changes is in the middle. That's where you lot really lost that game. That the way Gundogan, KDB, Stones, Rodgers were picking up possession in there and kind of and then setting up the attacks out wide. But he hasn't got.
But we know that's going to happen. We actually know that's going to happen.
Yeah. But remember, tweak doesn't necessarily have to be personnel. It's about what you're doing in the middle of the park.
Right.
You can say, right, you instead of it just being Fab sitting, Hendo drop in with Fab, and be a bit more protective of the back four.
Right. No, I agree. But to your point earlier,
and this is where, like he said, this is where you're paid. This is what you're paid to do. You're paid to show us that you can manage, and this is where in-game management is so vital. So it's not necessarily about bringing on certain players. And yes, we do have players, and even if you feel like you don't, your job as a manager is to know how to get the best out of the players that you do have. I might not have someone that can go on and do what Modric does, and dictate the tempo of the game, but I might have someone that knows how to win the ball. I might have someone that knows how to track from side to side. Yeah,
look, I just think you're right. And I think in-game management is a combination of things, right? Yes, it's how you set up the team, it's what you tell them to do in what situations, but also the players that are going to execute that are also important. And that's why sometimes you do see managers saying, no, actually, this is a total flop. I'm changing 3 man on 55 minutes. You know what I mean?
Literally.
You know, and I just think Klopp knows, we're in April now, he hasn't got what he needs in the midfield to change it up and increase the quality, not the performance. Someone can come on and perform well, but increase the quality to a level where it makes a difference against that midfield. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue. So he could have tweaked it, but the only person on the bench that I would have said, you know what, if he could have started, it might have made a difference was Núñez, because he's so annoying. He's like Robbie Savage came back as a striker. He's annoying like that. Not the way he plays, but if you're a defender, Núñez, he's fast, he's strong, he's got that nasty attitude. I think he would have helped. But anyone else, to be honest, from a quality perspective and how they played this season, I don't think he has that. And I think that's what you guys need to fix next season. He needs those tools.
I think good managers who have belief in their system and know exactly what they want from their players, they know exactly what kind of players they want. Look at Pep when he came into City. He gave them chances. Yeah. You can't play in my system. You can't do what I ask you or need of you. Out the door.
Well, look at Cancelo. Klopp
don't even. The thing with Klopp, I don't think he does that. I don't think he has that bite in him where he's got the play. He's come in and he's gone, right, this is the system. This is what I need. These are the kind of players I need. I think what he tries to do is just make whatever he has fit, and that, to his point, to can be quite detrimental in the sense.
We've discussed it a few times. Like
he's only done it like 3 times with Alisson, Van Dijk, and Fabinho. We needed Fabinho when he first 2 seasons amazing and he took off. But John's point many times, we haven't brought in the right areas.
Exactly.
Well, and to your point, I think it's a bit Wenger-esque in that respect, right? Look, no disrespect to anyone, but Keita and Ox should not still be at Liverpool, taking up squad space and wage space. Like they should not be there. As an average fan on the street, we saw this 2 years ago. You know, it's things like that. So yeah, I do think he reminds me a little bit of Wenger in that when he believes in certain man, that's it. And we can't say he hasn't got the money because you guys have spent money, right? You bought Cancelo, you bought Núñez, so there must be an element where he is saying, I still have a certain level of belief in next players. Because at some point, even if you can't get value for a player, you have to just get them off the wage bill, mutual agreement, just to get them off the wage bill, and then you got space.
Did you hear his post-match press conference?
No, go on.
Do you think he's close to being sacked?
No.
No.
However, to T's point earlier, if there is a mutual agreement situation in the summer, I won't be surprised.
But did you hear what he said?
You talk about today's one or after
the one? Was it today he said it?
Today he was like, "Oh, you surprised to see me?" like
Yeah,
as a joke.
exactly. Because he was saying something along the lines of maybe it's because of what I've done the last 3 years that I'm still here.
Oh, yeah.
Credit.
How long has he been at Liverpool?
8 years now?
8 years.
It's gonna be 9.
Yeah, 8 years in October. 9 years.
Oh, cool.
We getting it?
No, nothing.
I mean,
Close to 10,
asked
innit?
him to
That's
do
what
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I said, if he gets to 10 years, 1 CO, 1 league.
Is that true?
And
But you know what?
the Liverpool
Is that
guys that's around us are saying his job is safe.
Yes, I think Klopp, unless we have a drastic freefall, Klopp leaves when he wants to.
What is this?
And
When this was Wenger,
What is this?
I heard a lot of
This
rumbling.
is
Like,
a drastic freefall.
when it was Wenger,
Hold
This
on.
is not a drastic free fall.
I'm thinking, what is this?
drastic, no, I don't think it's an off season in it, but like what we were saying, I don't think you're far away. It's a couple signings, isn't it?
I don't think Klopp
it's
can have
not
another
major,
season like
but
this.
You can't.
I remember.
If he have another season like this, I don't think he makes it to the end of next
You
season.
can't. The fans will
But I
want
think
his
that'll
head as
be
well.
because of I don't think they'll fire him. I think he'll be like, you know what, this isn't working, etc. And like to your point, I know you're saying, 10 years, I only won 1 league and 1 CL.
No.
Like you got to look who we come up against, innit?
Here
Nah, but
we
it's-
go.
I don't understand how.
But you
this
beat
is
them
not-
though, innit? You beat them once.
So that
We might need them.
means if Arsenal win the league, Arteta's in the Hall of Fame, bro.
So you don't think if Arteta wins the league this season, it's a massive achievement?
I
Based
thought
on,
it's a major, massive.
so yeah, it is.
But
Like,
if
one of the
Arteta
biggest.
only wins that league in 10 years, he can get out, bruv. Get out. You know me already. I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be
dude.
there.
He will
Fair
be
enough,
saying out.
but you might not win it for like another 23 years. So
10 years.
Oh, is that what you're
That's
doing?
Wow.
You waiting 30 though?
Huh?
Yeah?
Imagine a whole 30 years.
Oh,
He's got
I
chest.
know what.
You're not helping you, man, you know.
No, I'm
The
just
whole
saying, we're not
30
waiting.
years, he's got
We're-
chest.
we're-
But
it's done.
honestly, I think the way the game is today, FSD, your owners are businessmen, right? So
Yeah.
they're about the community and all of that. But, and they tried to get investment for the club recently, etc. Honestly, I don't think Klopp lasts another season like this. I think
Doesn't.
there'll be a conversation, a mutual agreement. You know, you guys are 8th with 11 games to go, right? You're 8 points off 4th. It's not mathematically impossible. It could happen. It's not an impossibility.
Would you guys say, yeah, it's time to go?
Time for Klopp to go.
Yeah, next season, if it was kind of the same.
So if
Outside of the top 4,
if it was
let's just say.
if it was exactly the same as this,
Yeah.
this time next season,
Yeah.
I wouldn't bite the bullet now. I'd give him till the end of the season and then say,
Hold it.
yeah.
IT, remember he said drastic freefall, bro. He doesn't think this season's a drastic freefall, bro.
No, it's not.
But it's not.
Huh?
It's not. It's an
No,
off
for a
season.
Liverpool, that
It's
would
an
come.
off season.
You're taking the mick.
No,
an
you can't.
off-season.
Do you know why you can't say it's a drastic free throw?
But they were
Because
almost
you have to,
happened first time.
yeah, you have to wait until next season and then see.
Yeah.
But they were 10th and 9th at one point, you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
remember
they're not-
Chelsea's done. Remember Chelsea's
It's a
done this
drastic
before.
freefall, bro.
Nah, I don't
Chelsea's done this before,
I don't think
Wow.
so. I don't think
And
so.
Yeah,
they
remember
sprung back.
Chelsea
and they
won the
spun
league
back. Yeah,
and finished 10th.
But
or
I
9th.
have a general issue with this notion that you can't just like lock things off when things are going well. You have to wait for it to get really catastrophic before you make a change. Like he's got a lot of credit in the bank. I don't think it's mad to say, you know what, before this, we'll take a risk. Before this gets any worse, or you know what, you've been in 9 years, maybe it's time for a freshen up. But in football, in football, you will keep your job until it goes really, 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 really bad. But actually, you could just be like, you know what, you're not still at the level you was before. It seems like you're moving away from that. Let me stop the bleeding now, so the distance back to the way you were is shorter for the next manager. But in football, the mentality is to wait. He's got credit in the bank. Wait. Then when it's really bad, chop.
Yeah, you touched on that last week. I don't think sacking Klopp just because you want to stop it before it gets too bad is a good idea, because let's assume in the summer they give him all the money and all the tools to go and get his players. He might go back to the normal Klopp, the normal Liverpool.
No, I expect it. I'm not expecting Liverpool. I'm bad at these, lot. I'm not expecting Liverpool to do this again next season. I expect about 5 centre midfielders to turn up. Yeah. At Liverpool straight at Melwood in the summer.
Yeah.
Like literally, I expect the squad to be CM, DM. You know,
I feel like it's gonna be mad next season. I think
Next
it's gonna be
season
seriously tough
will
for
depend
everyone.
on.
Everyone,
Talk to me September 1st when the transfer window closed,
yeah.
and I'll let you know whether we're going to
Yeah.
next season or not.
No,
That's it.
I'll be very surprised. I'm not saying Liverpool win the league next year, but I'll be very surprised to be in April next year, and we're talking about Liverpool being 8th with 11 games to go. If he's been given the players, you understand what I mean?
I think they'll swap positions with Tottenham.
Or get to 5th
and just be in the top 4s.
Mix.
Kind of, yeah.
But that's still an improvement in this season.
Yeah, of course. I just think that will be the switch.
Yeah. Let's see. If Chelsea don't get Champions League and they get a mad manager, it's going to be like that season again.
They need to get you Europa Conference.
At least in it.
Bare minimum this season.
We need that to mess them up. We need that to mess them up.
Keep saying.
Looking at their result this weekend, is that possible?
They've got the players to do it. Like, we don't know who they're going to get in.
See how the bounce back is.
Hopefully they don't win tomorrow.
Europa Conference is 5 points away. It's not crazy.
Yeah, it's possible. They can go on a little run.
They can go on a run after tomorrow, and I'll be happy.
I mean, speaking of the result, who actually? I mean, going into that, did you think that was possible?
What, City?
No, Chelsea Villa.
I thought.
I thought
that was possible.
But it was the manner. I thought that was
possible.
You thought that was possible? That
Villa beating Chelsea?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not 2-0. But I thought they might have got a draw.
Yeah, I thought it was possible. I thought Chelsea was starting to, go on.
I think we're doing a bit of a disservice to Emery here, to be honest.
That's
because he's doing really well,
very well
since he's come in. And like, Chelsea haven't been playing well. Like, they're getting chances in games, but they're not dominating games. So I'm not surprised Villa won, but I'm surprised that Villa stuck it on them, and it could have been more than
Villa are not easy to play against, man. So I'm not surprised.
Do you think under Emery Watkins is going to play himself back into England recognition?
No.
Nope.
Why not?
If he continues,
because
why can't he take Wilson's spot?
He could.
Well, Wilson even made the last squad. Tony
No,
did.
but I'm just saying,
I think
you know who it
Tony's
is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a hierarchy.
And then there's the next level. And I feel like he can put himself in that next
The reason I say
level.
that is because the way they do the squad, I think Tony's is the main reason why he's not going to get back. Because he's not going to take Rashford's place. He's not going to take Kane's
But
place.
he might be getting thinged, innit? So
Who?
Tony,
yeah.
So you never know.
So, but if all else being equal and Tony's playing, I don't think he gets the England squad ahead of Tony, personally. But before that, that's why he got in, because Tony wasn't getting in. So Watkins was getting in. But I don't think he gets in. I don't think Callum Wilson gets back in. I don't even know why he was there.
So if Watkins starts scoring and producing, you don't think there's a possibility?
Bro, you know what Gareth's like, bro.
One in, one out.
To be fair, someone starts scoring, media start writing about them, and then Gareth kind of.
The reason why
I think Wilson ain't getting back in.
He's not getting back in.
So now we've got Tony.
But Tony took Wilson's space, no?
Does he only pick 2 number 9s?
I don't even think he's getting
the wide forwards go as forwards as well,
he is,
right?
isn't it?
So when you look at the England squad and they do the separations, Saka's in the forwards piece.
Right, 2 centre forwards, 2 left.
No, but I just mean in number 9. Like,
really?
It's Kane and Tony.
He takes 2.5 because he takes Rashford, doesn't he?
Yeah, okay.
So Sterling is a shoe-in. And when it if it becomes a Tony Watkins conversation, Tony has other qualities he gives you. Well, Tony's a better player, isn't it? I haven't Tony's better. For me, he's better than Watkins. He's a better striker. And all round, he gives you more. I don't think he wins that.
Okay, so let me throw another name in the mix that I threw in just a second ago. Abraham.
Nah,
I don't think he doesn't look at them, man.
But he started, come on.
How's he doing this season?
Look how well he done last season.
He needs to come back to the Premier
and got over.
You think so?
To have a look in.
Yeah.
Even if he started scoring again at Roma.
When he was scoring last season,
he's under a top level manager, so he's not like he's.
Yeah, but he was there last season under Jose scoring.
Still didn't get picked.
Like, I think in time for the first couple squads, he was the top scoring Englishman.
Yeah,
and never got picked.
Yeah,
bro. I'll be honest. Like, when people were saying to me, I had Arsenal fans argue with me. Oh, why wouldn't you take Tammy Abraham, etc., etc. I think he's a good player, he's a decent player, and I will always rate the Englishman that go abroad. Not going alone, they say I'm going and they do their thing. So I rate him.
Yeah.
But with what Gareth has to select from now, Tammy should not be in that squad, bro.
Bro, you know what Gareth's thinking?
What?
Serie A's dead, bro.
He must be, because he doesn't respect.
Yeah,
he's watched 7 games like me, bro. He's watched 7 games too, bro.
7 games, isn't it?
Yeah. And there was a time where he should have been knocking on the door. And to be honest, if I'm Tammy Abraham, Callum Wilson's getting that squad ahead of me. Nah, bro, I'm steaming. I'm not going to lie. I'm steaming.
but he's in the Premier.
this whole Prem bias anyway. I could do a whole pod
It does
about
make
that.
it makes sense though, because the Prem is a different kettle of fish, bro.
Yeah,
If you're banging up in the Prem,
Liverpool put on a better performance on Sunday, hopefully.
So
this is what annoys me about you lot, innit? Because you're gonna turn up on Sunday now.
that's what I'm saying. But they're at home though. They're at home though. They're at home.
No, they ain't.
They're at home.
They
So
ain't.
they're not gonna turn up. But
They
they're at
ain't
home.
turning
though.
up.
So-
speaking
No,
of,
they're gonna play better, but I
We'll come
got
to that.
faith.
picture,
You don't want to
Come
get
to
clipped,
that.
bro.
No,
Say it with your
we'll
chest.
come to that.
We'll come to
I've
that.
got
So
faith.
speaking
I've got
of
faith.
Tony,
Good.
that fixture, Brighton Brentford.
Wow. Ding dong.
Crazy.
It was a boxing match.
Yeah, it was nuts,
It was
Crazy.
crazy. That finish was tiny, you know.
Brighton are knocking on that door, mate.
Wow.
Yo,
They're
Man,
knocking on that
listen.
door.
I don't know what De Zerbi's done. Like what he said to them or the tactics that he's played. Obviously, we know McAllister pushing him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's got them man playing
Bro.
ball.
Yeah.
Yes,
The confidence in them must be nuts. They must be walking out of that dressing room thinking that they can.
Yeah.
It's a 300 thing.
Yeah. And apparently Potter wasn't playing Mitoma.
So there's 6 points off Spurs
Let me see.
with 2 games in hand. And obviously Spurs are 5th. Man United are 4th, 50 points. And they got a game in hand with Man United. They're not, if they catch Man United, it'd be a fantastic achievement, but it's not out of reach.
And just before that, can I remind you, they're doing all of this with Danny Welbeck leading their line.
I told you lot about Danny Welbeck, bro.
Big Danny
Why
Mensa.
you talking
Danny Welbeck's a
Why you
good
talking
finisher.
about
You know.
Mensa like that, bro?
Hey, Welbeck's a
To be
good
fair,
finisher. You know.
he only started on Saturday
Bro.
because Ferguson was injured. But even Ferguson's a good find. Like he's 18,
Yeah.
19.
He's 18. So.
And Spurs have just drawn with Everton.
1-1,
These
yeah.
lot are not serious.
No,
But
like, Welbeck's a good finisher, bro. Let's not
But
disrespect
he's
Welbeck.
not. He's
they
not
got 2
who
games
you
in hand.
need
Whoa, whoa,
leading
whoa.
the line.
3
Whoa.
maybe now.
What did you
While
say?
you're
He's a good finisher. Welbeck's a good
Welbeck is a
finisher.
good
Welbeck's a
finisher.
good one-on-one. Welbeck's a decent finisher.
Bruv, do you want me to bring up his career?
Welbeck's a
goals, actually?
decent finisher, bro. Let's not
No,
joke,
he's
bro.
not.
Have
Hey,
you,
do you
have you
remember-
seen Welbeck's little dinks when he gets in front of the goalkeeper?
What, when he
bro.
tried it over Neuer? And
No,
Neuer,
but
Neuer just
sometimes it
slapped
works,
away.
sometimes it don't. But bruv, he tucks away these little intricate
How many
little
did
shots,
he
bro.
do? How many?
I ain't got that stat in my head, bro. You got a computer right
Danny,
there.
no disrespect, bro. This is just numbers, isn't it?
Nah, Danny's my
Wow.
guy. But
Danny's
I
a
look
ball-
at him as he's a good workhorse.
But remember,
He's a good workhorse, but he's a
he,
good
was-
finisher.
he got the nickname through the Arsenal lot. So like, I don't know why you're disparaging him.
I'm not disparaging him. Man said he's a good
That
finisher.
He's a good finisher.
That
still.
guy
He's a good
Wells.
finisher.
Come on,
Welbeck's-
you man.
68 goals in 400 games. How
Welbeck's
can
a
he be
decent
good
finisher, bro. But how many of those games were bench?
Oh, here we go.
How many of the games were bench?
Why are you clutching?
How many of those games were from the bench, bro?
I don't care.
No, Welbeck's a
88
decent
goals
finisher,
in
bro.
400 games.
Welbeck's a decent finisher. Bro.
He's been playing. He's most.
There's a
played
reason.
20
There's a reason why he
games.
plays. Welbeck's a decent
20
finisher.
Prem games this season, scored
Decent
3
now.
goals.
Decent now.
What's decent? Good, same thing. He's a good finisher.
That ain't
Nah,
the
nah,
same, bro.
You'll be
Wait,
accurate
hold
in
on.
your
But I've
words.
always said decent. Clip it. Check the thing. I said decent from before.
All
You're saying decent now. Welbeck's a decent
Wait,
finisher.
Hold on. Let's just see. He's a good finisher. These are the goals he scored. Yeah, and this is not a character assassination, but you're not getting away with this. Yeah,
Go on.
he's played 20 games this season in the Prem. He scored 3 goals. He played 25 goals in the Prem last season. He scored 6 goals.
25 games.
He played 24 games in the 2021 season. He scored 6 goals. He played 18 games in the 19-20 season. Scored 2 goals.
Injuries, isn't it? Injuries change your mindset, bro.
I don't
He's
even
a
know if
decent
Opta
finisher.
would do a goal rate check
Check
with
his
these numbers.
Arsenal stats. Check his Arsenal stats.
Gone
They're
mad.
even worse.
Check his Arsenal stats.
They're even worse.
And then
All
check when he's started.
What's
not
the
just
most amount
bench.
of Premier League goals that Welbeck scored for Arsenal?
I
What's
don't
the
know,
highest
couldn't tell you.
amount
What, in the season?
in
Couldn't
the
tell you.
season? What's the highest amount?
About 8.
7.
6.
I was going to say
6
I
goals.
was going to say 6.
Listen, Danny Welbeck
He
is a
played
decent
26
finisher.
games.
Yeah?
And he scored 6
And they
goals.
weren't all starts, bro. Most of his games for Arsenal were.
He's that guy, man. Leave him. That guy.
So what are you
Leave
saying? Like,
leave Danny Mensah,
you're
man.
saying he plays for a reason, so he's the new
He plays for a
Chesky.
reason, bro. No,
Not
he's a
for
decent
finishing.
finisher, bro.
That ain't the
Listen,
reason.
Listen, Danny Welbeck's link up.
That
bro,
ain't
yeah,
the
it's fully what
reason.
starts.
Bro,
Danny Welbeck's a decent
I'm not
player, bro.
saying Danny Welbeck is a Premiership player. He's earned his thing. You made of a specific
Danny Welbeck
point.
played for Fergie, you know.
You made of a specific point that he's a
Hey.
good finisher.
Sold him.
You don't play for Fergie
What is
and Wenger
going
if you're
on?
rubbish, you know. Danny Welbeck's decent, man.
That's it.
Loud
He's
Mensah, man.
good, but he ain't a
Pepe
finisher.
played for Fergie.
Hey. Hey, listen. Danny Welbeck played 27 goals in one season for Man United and scored 1 goal.
He's what's that again?
He played 27 games in the Premier League, 2012-13, and scored 1
Listen, stop
goal.
mashing up his character,
What?
man. He's a decent
What was that? His
striker,
first
bro.
season?
No,
No.
that was his 1, 2, 3, 4. That was his 5th season as a pro.
That
Danny Welbeck is a decent striker.
No, he's a decent striker, but
There
you
you
said
go.
he's a good finisher.
He is a good finisher.
No, the stats don't back you.
Yeah, but he might not get into the right places. But when he does, how many chances? How many chances? No. How many chances? Check the chances.
His position is not elite, but his position is.
When he's in front of goal, bruv, if he's scoring 6 a season, he's probably only had 10 shots.
You're going mad.
No, listen, Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck's a decent finisher. Danny Welbeck's a decent
Big
finisher.
up Danny Welbeck, innit?
It's a decent
Big him up.
Anyone that has a
No,
career
don't try
in
big him up now, man. No.
Big him up.
Anyone that has a career in the Prem that long, I'm not disparaging the thing. I'm just challenging a specific point you made. You said he's a good finisher. He will tell you himself, bro. He'll be honest with you. He's a big enough.
I'm just going by
the strength of his game.
I'm going by some of the goals I've seen him score. Yeah, an average striker will probably try and kick it and he'll hit the goalkeeper. Like Danny Welbeck just dinks it.
Yeah, but bro,
Danny Welbeck's a decent finisher.
Striker.
Are those the only finishes that you've seen?
I love them dinks, bro. I love them dinks, bro. Danny Welbeck, loud Danny Welbeck, man.
Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I laugh because this team got Newcastle, Manchester United.
Pepper.
Again, wasn't that surprised, but I did expect them to beat them.
No,
I was
you
surprised.
expected who to beat who?
I thought Man United were going to beat them.
Bro. Listen, Man United all season have not been. Everyone thinks, because they've been going on this little run. They've not been that great all season. The games that they've won have not been convincing.
They've got the upper hand. Based off they beat them in the final, right?
That's not upper hand. Even that game, Newcastle were dope in bits.
We beat you for a trophy.
Nah, man.
We beat you when it counted.
I didn't expect him. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Man United were not upward. Excuse me. But looking at the game, watch the game. Willock, he could have had a hat trick.
He could have.
This could have been a 4-0.
I expected it. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you seen United's record since
winning the
Carabao Cup?
0-9.
No goals scored. 9 goals conceded.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
It's not.
I
good.
don't even know. But they ain't won. I don't think they've won.
No win.
No win.
And no goals scored.
No win. No goals scored. And 9 goals conceded.
It's basically no Casemiro, no party.
That's it.
And
Simple.
A lot of people are saying Ten Hag is Solskjaer with Casemiro.
That's mad.
But if you look at the stats when Casemiro doesn't play,
that's slightly lazy Twitter ban.
How many more games is he banned? Casemiro.
He's got 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah, 2 more after this Newcastle game.
He's one of them the FA Cup.
And I think if you look at the United team without Casemiro, it's a totally different beast because the replacements are nowhere as good as him.
Well, McTominay
or Fred.
It's not good enough.
It's not.
And I think
Fred weren't even playing. Who's playing?
McTominay, Bruno, and Eriksen were the 3 in the middle.
Ten Hag got gas from the Spain game, bro.
Well, no, but he should have at least. I don't think Ten Hag is wrong for expecting a certain level out of those players.
Yeah, but Fred's the better player, bro. Why don't you play
out of who? McTominay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends what he wanted for that game. And against Longstaff, McTominay, he probably thought he'd cover more ground, etc. I don't know. One, I wasn't expecting that. And 2, again, you look at stats, they don't tell you how the team, I think they play much better football than Ole did, right? And I think they're more attractive to watch as a team. But he's got 3 more points than Solskjaer had at this stage in the amount of games.
I think he's getting more out of the team.
Yeah,
he is. Like, I've been very reductive.
Not Ole, sorry. What's his name?
He's getting more out of the team without scoring a goal.
No, now this little run they're on is a madness, but I think he's got more out of them.
When they're on
he's got more out of what I thought he could get out of those players. At the
when
time,
they're
I
on
thought they were
song,
done.
They're really good. I think what he's not got out of them yet is consistency. I actually think that's the issue.
They've had consistency though.
Yeah, they went on a mad run.
No, but consistency in the Premier League is.
Yeah, but all the games that were put before them, they dealt with it. Rashford was on smoke. They had consistency.
I don't think they got consistency from a performance point of view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They haven't been consistent. So I expected this Newcastle as well.
Oh, okay. Fine.
You see the Brighton game?
Yeah.
Clip it. I expect them to lose that game.
Wow.
I promise
Is
you.
it at the Amex or Old Trafford?
It's at Wembley. In the FA Cup game?
Yeah, FA Cup game, yeah.
It's at Wembley.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was
So if they finish 3rd, right? He wins the Carabao Cup and FA Cup.
What Mark just said, I think is a fact. I don't see them beating Brighton in the FA Cup.
But they've got the League Cup in the bank already. Like he's won a trophy, so he's already doing better than Ollie. You can see the clear progression that he's made with the team since Solskjaer left. They still need. They don't need a lot of players, but they need improvement in certain areas.
No, I think they need 3-4 players.
I think they need a lot of players.
I think they need a lot of players.
They need a lot lot of
They do
players.
3-4 players.
Because a lot.
No,
Of
when I
man,
say a lot, I mean like
Yeah,
6, 7.
heart
a lot
surgery.
of man, a lot of man need to go as well.
You know they extended Luke Shaw, by the way.
Oh, new contracts for
Yeah. I saw that.
You know what? He's earned it.
I think he's earned it.
He's earned it. But
You know what?
if they
He's
want to go
sneaky,
places,
Because he will be trash for so long and then do some worldies for like 6 months. And
Yeah.
everyone's like,
I don't think. I think the problem.
Luke Roberto Carlos.
I think Luke Shaw suffers from the aesthetics of his game. Like, he doesn't look like he's ever doing anything. You know, he looks like he's lazy or he's just getting there. I think he gets a hard rap. I think Luke Shaw has to play at a 10 out of 10
Nah.
for people to say he's played 8 out of 10.
No.
I think he gets a hard rap.
Nah.
I'm not saying he's wonderful.
He's
I'm
had
not
some
saying he's what they need.
shockers, man.
No, he has. He has. But I think he has to do a lot more to get the same recognition other people get handed to them.
Yeah, but
Him and
he's
Robertson
had,
could play the same game. He won't get the same love as Robertson.
he's had the shockers though. He is a fullback. Like we cuss
I
Trent,
disagree.
and Trent ain't a fullback. Innit?
I think
But
Trent gets played
he's-
for stuff that ain't even his fault. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah,
He gets played
nah,
for.
nah.
He's had some shockers this season,
No.
but now in football, you know what it's like, bro.
Spotlight, innit?
Yeah, it starts to roll, and then now I'm getting sent videos of stuff, and I'm like, hold on, you're not looking at what the defender did 2 moves before him that made him put him in that position. Do you
Yeah, but
understand
what
I mean?
we say about Trent and like what we say about Trent is like he lets people run off of him. He
Yeah.
doesn't know
His
where he
defensive
is and blah blah blah
awareness.
because that's not his brain. First and foremost, ain't defense. So when I'm looking at Shaw, that is you're a
Yeah.
fullback, innit?
Yeah,
You know
fair.
what to do. You know what going.
Yeah.
So
But Ten Hag, well, they clearly see him as someone that they need to tie down for the future. So he's got a new contract. I think they need 3 or 4 players.
They need more
is
than
that it? 3 or 4.
Well,
One's
we need
definitely
more
a
than
striker, so 2 more.
Yeah.
Nah.
And it's going to be over time, isn't it? They're not going to go out one summer and get like clubs apart from Chelsea. No one has done that and it's been successful.
No, I'm
You
saying
can't fix everything at one
how
time.
many players do they need? I
In
know they
total.
ain't gonna
Oh,
bring
in
in 8
total,
or 9
Yeah,
or whatever.
probably 7. I would say.
But going back to your point, John, I think you've got to stop looking at Man United as the Ferguson
Yeah.
Man United. And I think a lot of people, Gary Neville being one of them, still hang on to that kind of era. Like, and it happened with Liverpool a lot, like, oh, the boot room, blah, blah. I was like, fuck, don't worry about the boot room.
Yeah.
But what is the Ferguson United?
Winners, innit?
Winners.
No,
They
but-
should be-
you're talking
they
about-
should
like
be-
winners.
You're talking about the
So-
standard.
yeah, so like-
You're talking about like the type of squad.
No.
Nah,
So it's like,
nah.
you got to look at Man United as just another club now,
Mhm.
where before, they ruined my childhood, man, because they were winning everything. Like, that's not the Man United anymore.
And
Like-
even to the point where they didn't win it one year, you just knew it wasn't long before they'd win another Prem. You know,
Yeah.
it was that. It was that.
Yeah,
know
they'd
that
lose
next year
it
they're
and then
coming.
3-peat. Like,
No, next year they're coming.
They're
back.
coming, bro. They're coming.
Fact.
So, all right, cool. So, other important win: Bournemouth beat Fulham 2-1. I think Fulham are missing.
Mitro.
Mitro.
Big time.
it's
That
weird they
meltdown he
haven't
had.
said if he get an extended ban because he's serving the free match,
Yeah.
but they haven't said if he's going to get any
I
longer.
think the uproar from Fernandez the week, the
Yeah.
game before, the week before,
Yeah.
when he pushed
Has
the
tempered
linesman.
their response.
I think that's kind of if they know if they give him an extended ban, there's going to be a
Mm.
fan base for certain being Fulham's,
Mm.
causing arms and whatever
Yeah,
it may
I
be, or
understand.
backlash, and it's better to just under the rug, be quiet. People will forget about it. Let's move on.
You
So
say
again,
that.
going back to the table, that result, I was going to say gets them out of the relegation zone. It does, by a point. But on the same amount of games as Leeds and Leicester below them, Southampton have played 1 game more. So they're moving in the right direction. And again, this is where a win makes a big difference.
Mhm.
They get another win against someone around them. They're on 30 points. You're almost in a different stratosphere.
Mm.
Do you understand? So big win for Bournemouth. What do you think about, their manager? Everyone felt like when it was caretaker time, it was fantastic. As soon as everyone knew he was going to stay on for a bit, it kind of dipped.
But that's always the way.
Mm.
That's like what they say, the new manager bounce.
Yeah.
Or you get the teams that are fresh in the league and everyone's on 10, and then the comfortability sets in, and then it's like it goes by the wayside. Or that security blanket's there now. So I don't have to be a tryhard. I just have to.
But don't
do
you
the bare
think that
minimum.
what actually happens is, the level of ability and performance just averages out, because there's a reason why they were in that position. So yeah, you can have a bounce for 2 or 3 games. Over 10, the real you's gonna show. Over 10, 15, the real you's gonna show. So I was hoping they didn't fire him because at the end of the day, they're just showing what they are. Do you know what I mean? So if you take it over a piece, so I'm glad he stayed. I'm glad he's still there, because he wasn't going to work magic overnight. So yeah, you're right. You get the new manager bounced, and the real team has to show himself.
Yeah.
And then you see how good or not he is. If he keeps Bournemouth up, I think he's done fantastic. So gonna put everyone on the spot here. Who's getting relegated?
Southampton, shoe in.
23 points, man.
My other two, I think.
So Mark's saying
I think Leeds could be in danger. Southampton, Leeds, and I think it might be a shocker, Leicester or West Ham. I'm going to say West Ham.
Yeah, pick one.
I'm going to say West Ham, Leeds, Southampton.
West Ham. Ooh, bold. I'll go Southampton, Leicester, Leeds.
So as the bottom three as it is now.
Yeah.
T?
Southampton. I don't know. I've got a feeling about Leicester. I don't know. Where's Wolves? They're all right.
No, they're not. They're on 28 points, but they've played 29 games. So, yeah, a couple of people have got a game in hand on them.
You know what? Yeah, I feel like Southampton, I'll put Bournemouth back in there.
Yeah. Fair.
And you'd probably go with Leeds. But I don't know. Leeds, I've got a feeling about them. Like, they got some good players. Like, they can still get out of there. A lot of these teams have decent players. They can get out.
Teams,
yeah. And that's the opposite side to the argument of why is there no mid-table. Actually, the standard is so high. It sounds contradictory to the fact that we're discussing relegation. But the standard is so high, actually, then mid-table disappears. That disparity, it kind of goes from elite to then everyone else.
I'm saying that then.
I'm going Southampton, Leeds, Everton.
Man, I love that. I
they just got a point, mate.
I hope and pray Everton go down.
29 games, 27 points.
Go on, Alec.
I'm going Southampton, Everton, and Leeds.
Yeah. And I'm doing that
for Everton go down.
What? I don't know about you guys, but I'm doing that football fan bias thing where, for me, Leicester are too good to go down. I'm ignoring all the maths. They're 19th now with 25 points. You know, they'd have to basically throw away their form book to get out of this. But something's still telling me that
Brendan's
they're not going to survive.
So you never know. It might be a little bounce.
Yeah, true.
And then a couple wins, just get out of it. Boom, done.
Yeah. It's just Everton down there. They've played the most games. So from everyone, say, from Palace down, right? So everyone that's kind of on less than 30 points. Wolves, Everton, and Southampton have played the most games.
I will say, though, I think Palace might get dragged into it. I know they won at the weekend, but based on what Roy done with Watford at the end of last season, I can see them getting dragged back into it.
I think there's too few games for him to get dragged into it, honest. I think he'll do well in the next couple of games.
Too few points separating everyone.
Yeah. That's true. But I think their team, out of all the teams down there, I think their team are too good.
Remember, so for example, Bournemouth 17th.
Yeah.
And they're on 27 points. They've got a game in hand on Palace. So it takes for Palace to lose a game, Bournemouth win a game, they're on the same points.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's mad. That's what I'm saying. The permutations are crazy.
Are you going to apologise to Jordan Ayew?
No.
Did you see his assist for the winner?
Did you see how fast he fizzed it into Mateta?
No. Give him credit. Let's not. No. Are you going to apologise or are you just going to say he fizzed?
I'll stand on.
That was a poor
No, but
assist.
if he scores or assists to get end of the season, you got to apologise.
For a Premiership striker, assist on a goal.
Yeah, that's mad. That's
No way.
It's got 10 games left.
You know why? Because I know someone who has to do a big apology at the end of the season if things go a certain way.
Yourself.
Yes. And I don't want to be
a written one as well.
Written one. Are you sharing it or are we?
Yeah, sharing it.
I'm gonna have to come and do it here, innit? I can't be on the pod.
No, I mean now, like before, or we wait until it happens?
I'm filming the league, but I've got to apologise to Arteta, bro.
I think you should apologise anyway, bro. He's done a marvellous job.
No, let him win first.
I agree.
I'm holding out.
Are we gonna touch on your result on the weekend then?
I mean, top of the table do what top of the table does.
The swagger and arrogance and the reply.
I've been like 10 years to talk like that.
I'm telling you, bro. Feels good,
but to be fair, like Arsenal are doing what champions do, innit? Like they're grinding out the wins.
Amazing, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't going into it thinking we were gonna we were going to hurt them until I saw the injury list. And actually, people like Nonto, etc., they were talking about him not being available. And I just thought, at home as well. I didn't think it was going to be a rout, but I was quietly confident we'd get the 3 points.
I predicted 4-1.
Did you? You should let me know next time I put
Are you guys, the three of you lot, are you still comfortable yet in saying that you're going to win the
game?
I'm
not comfortable yet. So I don't want to jinx us here, but if you lot had done your job on Saturday, I'd have been
that's done.
I'd have been happy. Yeah. But now, the way I'm seeing it, I'm still not comfortable because if we, and I'm praying we don't, if we lose to you lot, that's 5 points because I'm sure they're going to beat whoever is in front of them. If we lose to them, that's 2 points. And then if we drop any points anywhere else in the season, that's it, done.
Yeah. Do you still stand by the fact that you don't think Man City will go on a run?
You've been saying this for a long time, bruv, and it's only just looking like it's about to start.
We've been telling you.
Only just looking like it's about to start. So now you're happy, innit?
No, I just want you to answer the question.
It's only just looking like it's about to happen. For the whole season, I've been saying to you, is it happening? When's it going to happen?
Matched them.
Exactly.
So last 5 games, Man City have had a draw and 4 wins. We've had 5 wins. So we've matched them.
No. We've won 7. We haven't actually matched them. We've bettered them.
Yeah, 100%. We have. And we got Liverpool Sunday, West Ham, Southampton, then City. So for me, those 9
For me, if we beat Liverpool, we win the league.
Man, we need 7 points from those 9 games, bro.
We beat Liverpool, we win the league.
I don't think so.
It's more nuanced. So you still got to play City.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So based on,
you think if you beat us,
if we beat you, we win the league.
Regardless of facing City, you've won the league.
Listen, we just don't need to drop points anywhere else. If we drop points at City and nowhere else, or we beat, like I said, if we beat Liverpool, we win the league. That's my point. That's my feeling.
I think our form shows it as well.
Yeah.
Our form shows that we could win every single game until the end of the season, barring City. Liverpool is going to be tricky because it's away. It's at the Kop. Chelsea at home, I'm not bothered, but they've just sacked Potter. Who knows what's going to happen? But I still feel like we're at home.
So issues for me, personally, in terms of games, are obviously Liverpool, obviously City, Brighton at home, right? And then when you start to get into those fixtures, you're now talking about people that are fighting for their lives, right? So we play Brighton, and then it's Forest and Wolves. I don't want to get to the Brighton game and it's proper squeak, like it's 2 points in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want any swings because then we're probably going to get to those last 2 games and Forest and or Wolves are still looking over their shoulder. Definitely Forest are still looking over their shoulder unless they do a madness in the intervening time. So that's my thing. Don't lose at Liverpool. Don't lose at City. And then it's still in your hands. I just want it to be as much in our hands as possible.
I think where this season differs, like where when we were challenging City, both our games were done earlier in the season. So it's all kind of what we done against the other teams. And the 2 times we finished second, back in the season, we were just winning games. It just happened that we were points behind City at the time. I think you've got to win every game to win the league. Even if you beat us, I still think you've got to win every game.
There's not going to be any easy games, obviously, but I think if we beat Liverpool, because I'm just banking on us not losing 6 points, and that's Liverpool and City. The other games, I'm pretty sure we're going to win them. If we beat Liverpool, I'm sure we're going to win it.
The form book shows, 10 games or 9 games or whatever.
Yeah.
It shows that we both might drop points.
Do you think the Champions League is enough of a distraction? Because people talk about Europe being a distraction.
It's a big distraction.
What, even for a team of that caliber?
Massive distraction. They've got a big squad. That's the only thing.
FA Cup as well. They've got all
the players to move it around, innit? But it's a big distraction. And I feel like it can do 1 or 2 things, which I don't like about City. But if they do get knocked out by Bayern, it might just do a madness to them. And
it's never really derailed them before. Like, who did they lose to last season? Like Real Madrid, and that was like a proper.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's gonna be
they just went on and rolled over everyone.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
And like the season before, they won it. So
if we look at City's fixtures, If we look at City's fixtures, they got Southampton on Saturday. So Southampton, it's not even a thing of they're fighting for their life later. They're fighting for their life right now. It's already,
they need the points.
The deep end struggling. City have got a freak result in them, but I expect City to get the points there. Then they've got Bayern Munich. Then they've got Leicester. Then they've got Bayern Munich again. Then they've got FA Cup semi-final, Sheffield United. No disrespect Sheffield United, but Rico Lewis will play that game. What's the other young forward? What's his name? Where's number 80 something? Palmer will play those games. It's that kind of squad.
I think he'll play a
strong
normal squad.
Yeah.
And then it's us on a Wednesday. So they've got a lot of games, man.
Are you their hardest game left of the season, league-wise? Are you their hardest league game?
Yeah. I would say so.
Did you say league-wise?
Yeah.
But we're at the top of the league, bro. Doesn't...
But I mean, like, if they got to play like a Man United, like a Derby...
Nah, they ain't got nothing.
Like,
they got West Ham. They got West Ham third of May.
Nah, forget that.
If West Ham are struggling, that's what I'm saying. These games...
They got to play Brighton, right?
The Prem's not easy, man. The Prem's not easy, bro.
Yes, they do.
They got to play Brighton, and they got to play Brentford. And I feel those are the other two games that are like...
Have you got Brentford? No, you played them twice.
We've played them twice. They've got Brentford on the last day. And I feel like Brentford can turn up.
Yeah, they've really turned up.
Bro, it's heartbreaking.
They ain't actually playing for anything.
Villa were 2-0 up at half time in the last season, bro.
It's mad.
Yeah. April 23rd, Brighton, Man City.
Keats PTSD is funny, bro.
Bruv, it's brazy, bruv.
Who's at home for that?
No, that can't be right. That's postponed. Yeah, the Man City Brighton game still needs to get rescheduled. Yeah.
So you never know when that's going to be. That might even be.
They'll have a little fixture congestion, especially if they beat Bayern Munich. So
hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tricky, I think. And again, you could argue and say, actually, if you just look at it objectively, as long as you don't lose those two Liverpool and City games, the title is still in your hands. So if we draw both those games and win all the other games, Man City can't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the mentality we've got to look into. But I think it's easy because they're the top teams, the high quality teams, easy to look at those games like actually those will define your title. But they won't.
I feel like we'll beat Liverpool.
Yeah. And we're assuming that Man City are going to win every one of their games as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of twists. Like,
I don't like it, man. This anxiety, bro.
I'm telling you, man.
I like it.
I've
been waiting for. This is what we've been waiting for.
But I just want to know that we're going to win it. I just want to get to that point.
No. For the first time,
even if we win it on the last day, that is perfect.
No, it's not perfect.
It is for me. If we win it, yeah. If we don't win it, then
but you like the jeopardy. For the first time in so long, I would have been happy one of the ones.
Like it wrapped up.
Yeah, not too early because obviously we're not going to come out of the blue and do that. But if it was towards the end of April, early, mathematically, if we win this game and they draw, it's done. That would have been cool for me. First time in how long? I don't have to cope with this, bro.
I feel like Arteta has saved his best material. All of those team talks and team talks, he saved his best material.
All the diagrams of the
all of that, he saved it for these last 10 games, bruv.
Yeah, it's true.
This Liverpool, what he's telling them on that training pitch for Liverpool.
But I think he's got the effect. So when you listen to
the speakers that come back
Guardiola
out,
players, people that play for Guardiola, they always say he would tell them stuff that was going to happen in the game. And then when they didn't do what he asked, he'd be like, see, I told you. But when they did what he asked, you heard him say all the time, people that play for Bayern, etc., Barcelona, it was remarkable how exact, when they did what he said would happen. And I think that's where the point he's at with the Arsenal players, Arteta, where they're saying, no, if we do exactly what Mikel says, this stuff really happens.
You can see it in their play though.
Yeah.
They actually do things repetitively. Like just keep going.
He's done very well.
And then on top of that, signings. So lots of people argue with me about Modric. I was like, look, I prefer that they had a line and they stuck to it. And they said, you know what? If it's going to go over that, we're not paying it.
Yeah.
And if you look at the fortunes of the two players, obviously, I think Modric's going to be a madness in 2 or 3 years or whatever. But again,
I don't know,
let's not.
You never know, bro.
That's true.
His shot the other day was so weak.
Yeah.
And
you look at it now.
It's the weight of the price tag as well, isn't it? Like, obviously, he can't set his own price tag. But there was so much of a circus around where he would go. Yeah. The twerking.
He hadn't played that many professional games, so he's still getting used to everything around it. Even the way he was dealing with the social media in the run up, all of this stuff.
It's a lot of pressure. Man.
Even that you could say him now mentally at Chelsea, like just trying to process everything, just thinking I don't want to be here.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I can't help but feel hard done by it because we'd be 2 points extra. If
what's that? The
VAR did the VAR or Brentford, man. That still hurts, man. Every little point counts, man. Especially when you're coming up against City, man.
It's true. No, it counts. Okay, cool. So look, we've kind of done a preview looking ahead. If we look at we've forged ahead, but there's still more games this week. It's a big double game week for you, fantasy players. I had a shocker. I left Haaland in. I thought Pep was playing mind games, and I lost that mind game.
I had a shocker. I put Salah as captain, bro.
But
then he got booked straight after scoring.
But tomorrow, Liverpool, another big game, right? Liverpool, Chelsea. No matter where they are on the table, it's always a big game.
I think that's going to be a terrible game.
Yeah, Chelsea have lost.
It's going to be a stink fest.
Chelsea have lost their manager, so you might see people being a bit more expressive. Let's see the team that Bruno picks, right? You've got obviously you lot want to bounce back, right? So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting game. We've got Bournemouth, Brighton. Bournemouth, I feel for you. I'm not gonna lie. Bournemouth at home, but again, back to the point about the table. Bournemouth even get a draw tomorrow.
Yeah, it's still good enough.
It starts to move things a little bit for them, right? If they somehow, again, don't do that, John. If they somehow beat Brighton, like it's some, like winning the lottery.
It's not impossible.
But if they beat Brighton tomorrow, they've totally changed the relegation race for themselves, because then you're now jumping up to kind of Palace levels, because Palace don't play again. So your game in hand are the same points as Palace now, and they're 12th. So the whole thing just shifts around, right? Leeds, Forest.
So hold on. So Bournemouth could go from relegation zone to 12th in 2 games.
All else being equal.
Yeah, I mean, like, just that's crazy.
They're 28th now, 27 points, and they're 17th. Play 28.
Obviously, fixtures have to go their way, but that's still mental.
They win tomorrow, and they are 29 games, 30 points, and everything else is equal. They'll be 12th.
They were 19th a couple of weeks ago, no?
Yeah,
that is mad.
They'll be 13th.
Well, this is what I'm saying as well. The running is mad, because now we're basically City and Arsenal. I don't know exactly who we're playing, but it's like every single game means something to the other team. Yeah, because there's so many teams in that kind of relegation kind of thing.
And if you flip on this head, whilst City and Arsenal are fighting it out for the title, you're having a very big say in the relegation battle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're having a very big say in the relegation battle. And then we got Leicester Villa again.
Villa win
Emery's team on the march.
Villa.
Yeah, I think Villa. So even before we get to the weekend and Arsenal, Liverpool's, etc., decent set of games to go tomorrow and Wednesday. More shifting in terms of it's probably more about the relegation places tomorrow. I don't think we'll get any more colour on the Champions League places, really. Wednesday, Man United, Brentford.
Man
United at home. Man United at home.
Brentford.
Man United should win.
I know, but
just
what
don't trust
them. Even the Brentford manager said it himself. He said when they go away to big stadiums, it's something he needs to sort out, right? They just don't perform that well. So maybe that plays into Man United's hands. And to be fair to Man United, whenever they've had a stinker, whatever Ten Hag does, I don't know if they've done another 10-kilometer run. I don't know. But they don't normally have 2 stinkers in a row, generally, right? They normally come out and
Sorry, John,
maybe Brentford might get the bracket.
If Brentford have another top 7, 8 finish next season, do you think their manager starts getting touted as someone?
There was already talk of him going down. Yeah, they were.
Oh, really? Oh, so
I've
never really heard anyone say,
people
let's give Frank a chance.
Yeah, so I've heard it a few bits, but he's just signed a new contract, I believe, or recently signed a pretty decent contract. So again, you're paying Brentford decent money, and Brentford are run properly. You're not coming to take their manager for no joke. And again, he's another guy, to your point, T. I think he seems like someone who would wait, right? Even if a big call comes in now, you're doing all right with Brentford. The price money difference, every year he's finishing better. He buys some more players in the summer. But I'd be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if he left the summer, to be honest. Decent big job comes in. But if we're talking the season after next, so 24-25, if he's still at Brentford, I'd be surprised. If he carries on like this.
Do you know what though? To certain things that do happen though. Like let's say this summer comes and like Tony leaves and another player leaves, and then the call comes and then he says, you know what?
But to be fair, Brentford have been good at replacing, because didn't Watkins come from Brentford?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they've been good at,
and he was slapping goals in the Champions.
like they've been good at, like if they sell someone on, like getting in a replacement who does good. So Tony's replaced Watkins.
Yeah.
They would argue that they're very data driven. That's what allows them to do that. Brighton as well, very data driven.
Yeah.
So
to your point about managers getting sacked before the ship starts to sink.
Yeah.
Shouldn't managers think, let me go to another club before?
No, I agree. But I think it's a balance of what T said and what you're saying now.
Well,
when is it too early? And when actually, so exactly, if Tony's leaving, how many times can you hit that lick again? Sell a big player, replace it again. Sell a big player, replace it again. Southampton were doing it for a few cycles. Now look where they are.
Brighton's done it well.
Yeah, Brighton's done it well. Let's see how long that lasts. So,
but yeah, Rodgers did that with Celtic. He was on course for like his 4th or 5th trophy in a row. Mid-season, he was like, I'm going Leicester.
Without being too negative on the Scottish League, yeah. I mean, a Brentford might call you from Scotland and you're going, bro.
Yeah.
Just let's be realistic, bro.
No, but I'm saying, like, to your
especially
point,
when you've won a few.
But to
your point, Rodgers was like, I've done this already. Like, Leicester have called. Now I can get back on that. Because that was like almost his comeback, innit? Celtic, then Leicester. Now, well, we'll see whether he lands one of those jobs. We'll see whether he lands one of those jobs. And then we get to the weekend, right? So there's going to be some shaking and moving as of Wednesday night. West Ham, Newcastle, Wednesday again. Even just to hear them lot banter each other on their podcast after that is the game's worth it. They don't hold back on that podcast, you know. They're crazy.
Which podcast are you talking about? Which podcast?
So Callum Wilson and Mikel Antonio on the podcast. And what's interesting about them, again, no disrespect to them, because they're not super elite players, but they're experienced. They're free, and they're free with a banner. You know, you don't normally hear footballer level banter outside of the club. Bro, they don't ramp. Callum Wilson is telling them every week, yeah, you're going to be playing Champions League next season, big man. So it was refreshing to hear them, you know what I mean, publicly talk like that. So yeah, even just for that, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we get to the weekend, Man United, Everton. Yeah, again, you know, just impacting the relegation piece. Sean Dyche is going to go to Old Trafford.
Hey,
bring the coach.
Might end up outside the top 4, you know.
Who? Man United?
I'm telling you, bro.
It's possible.
It's mad.
It's possible. Wolves, Chelsea. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Tottenham, Brighton. Spurs, Brighton.
Licks.
Brighton won their last season.
Spurs at home.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The Zerbi's going to go there with... I feel like sometimes when someone's got the ball at Brighton, it's like there's 8 men running off.
I'm telling you, bro.
It looks like a swarm of bees. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Did Brighton take him from another club, or was he out of
from you?
I want to say he was at Shakhtar. I think he was free.
I don't know if he'd left, but he definitely was at Shakhtar before.
Yeah,
like their scouting network is very good. And he did well, players and managers, like
managing Italy and Spain as well. So again, the people that are in the know, they're not surprised by the way he plays. So apparently, it's a known thing within the networks that actually he was a manager that was going to get an opportunity like this.
That seems like a right timing, everything.
Exactly.
Right, even come in, he said Trossard, top goal scorer.
Hold it.
Yeah,
cool.
You can go if you want.
And again, to your point about right circumstances, because Potter's done a level of work, right? And I do think what just needed to be added to that team was the attacking, being clinical with the attacking. Because, Brighton used to underperform their XG. That's the last time you hear me talk about that stat. But they used to underperform it regularly. They used to talk about it. So he's come and added that as well. Amongst other things.
That speaks to the point of being a good manager, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming in, having a belief in your system and the way you want your team to play, and then also knowing what the capabilities are of the players that you do have. Like T said, that you have to be pretty confident to walk into a team and allow your top scorer to leave the team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Even how he handled the whole Casado thing.
Yeah.
He didn't ever badmouth him or say anything mad. He just
if that was Brendan Rodgers,
come back in the team.
Brendan Rodgers was hung about to dry in one press conference, bro.
Literally.
I've seen him enjoy football, mate.
No, trust me. Then Leicester, Bournemouth, mate. This relegation battle is going to be as interesting as
because there's so many teams in it.
Proper.
It's like they're playing each other all the time. Isn't
Just speaking of relegation battles, or just battles in the league. I know this is way off the Prem or other football, but Notts County, and slightly off topic, but Notts County and Wrexham, that battle for promotion
it's nuts.
and the league.
Yeah, but they got a game in hand.
I just wanted to touch on that because I'm following it.
Yeah, same.
And that is top tier.
Yeah.
Both teams are literally winning every game.
It is
like you win 3-0, I win 4-0.
Yeah, there are 6 games left to go. Well, Wrexham have 6 games.
Yeah.
Notts County have 5. Wrexham need 4 wins out of the neck following 6.
And Wrexham are 3 points ahead.
6. Well, 3 points for the game in hand.
Yeah, 3 points over the game in hand.
3 points for the game in hand.
Wrexham will do
They
it.
are pulverising that league.
Wrexham will do it.
It is unbelievable. Wrexham have just hit the 100-point mark.
It's mad,
literally, with 6 games left.
Bruv, they play 46 games in that league. 46.
And you know what's crazy?
46.
If Notts County finished or whoever finished second has got to do a playoff.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point. So the whole point I'm trying to get to is it not unfair to just allow one team to have automatic promotion?
I agree. It's protectionism.
To the
That's just how it's always been.
Clubs that is so liberties if they go out in the
clubs in the
playoffs.
league are trying to protect themselves, but it should be 2 teams. Imagine doing all of that. Come second, I won't be surprised if they don't recover for 3 years.
Remember, Wrexham did that. Wrexham finished second last season, got to the final and lost. So they've had to come back and do it. Like, you kind of knew they were doing it because they've got the resources.
Hold on, it's not always been like that. It's been 2 teams before, isn't it?
Yeah, they changed it.
They changed it recently.
Not recently, but I think they changed it at some point. I think I saw that in the
Is that the same in the Championship?
So basically,
No.
if you finish
Championship's still
second,
2.
the teams from 3rd to 7th
Yeah,
do a
the playoffs.
final between themselves
Yeah.
to play you to go up. So you can finish 7th, like in the Championship.
and still
So
go.
2 teams go up, but only one goes up automatically.
That's crazy.
It's
When did
mad.
they change
It
that?
should be 2.
Yeah, I just because I was looking at that and I don't know why I didn't remember that, but I saw a stat. I saw something that pointed it out, and I was thinking that is just unbelievable. Imagine being, like T said, imagine being Notts County. You get all the way to the end of the season. You don't get automatic
Then you got to do
promotion.
playoff.
You do playoffs, and
Don't get it.
Chesterfield or York that have been
Just turn up one
riding
day.
in 6th
Yeah.
or 7th.
Just
Turn up one day, beat
Mad.
you, and now you've got to do it all over
And don't get
again.
me wrong, it's the same kind of feeling in
One day you
Championship.
don't turn up. It's one day you don't turn up.
I don't get me wrong, it's the
One
same
day,
jeopardy in the Championship.
46 games.
That's mad.
But at least it's 2 teams. I don't know why it makes a difference for me. If it's 2 teams,
It
at
does.
least you can say I wasn't one of the best 2. But that's a mad cliff edge. You literally have to be the very best team in that league to get promoted.
Yeah.
Where does it stop then? Because Championship, obviously, if they still do it, great. Then
It basically,
Division 1.
no, because they're not in the league. That's non-league, isn't it? So for all the league clubs, it's 2 up, 2 down,
Okay.
and then playoffs. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's slight protectionism. I'll have to look at it. So they've limited, because that means 3 teams would come up and 3 teams would go down into non-league, innit?
But I'm pretty sure
Does
it
it
used to
mean-
be 3 teams down,
Yeah,
3
it
teams
used
up.
to be. They've changed it.
No, it's never been
It's
as many
never
as
been
3.
three
No,
teams.
it's
Never been 3.
No, it's never been as many as 3.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
None of it's really fair anyway, because even if you look at the Championship, right, the team that wins the playoffs
Mhm.
gets more money than the team that finishes second.
Is that
No,
Yeah.
it's only
You
built
sure?
like that because of the money they get going to the Premier League. So they say it's like the £70 million
Yeah.
game. They don't get that. It's just the kind of
potentially what it could be worth.
the money that you earn by being in the Premier League.
Okay.
If that
And
makes
there's
sense.
another crazy stat that generally the team that finishes 3rd doesn't win the playoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
After
mad.
all that-
That's mad.
To T's point,
It's crazy.
whoever turns up on the day,
Because
whoever
They
deals
don't
with
turn
Wembley
up.
It's a
better.
cup competition, bro.
Yeah.
Anyone
because
can
mentally
win.
you're sitting there thinking, we just missed it.
Gotta
All right,
go again.
we're better than them lot.
Potential
Over the
free.
over
And
the
imagine
length of the
getting
season.
in. What is it? 7th is the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
position. So imagine being fighting for that 7th spot. You get to that 7th spot and you're like, yes, now you're
Yeah.
looking forward to
Yeah,
the playoffs.
exactly.
And it's normally
Whereas
a last day of the season
I
thing as
missed
well, isn't it?
out on going automatically up,
Yeah,
Now
now
we
you
have
got
to
to pick
play-
yourself up again.
Yeah.
and that's
I'd
long.
bank on
Yeah.
Borough going up through the playoffs.
Yeah, I reckon.
Really,
I reckon.
Yeah.
They've
through
been
the,
good.
Carry-
through the championship.
Yeah. Sorry to digress, but Carrick's
Yeah.
doing really well.
He is. All right, let's just quickly wrap up the rest of the fixtures. Fulham, West Ham. Again, I don't think Mitrovic is back for that. Is that
Nah.
his 3rd game?
I'd say if he's playing, bank on Fulham, but you can see from Saturday,
Mm.
Fulham struggle without him.
Carlos Vinicius is just like, wasn't he at Spurs at one?
He was,
Didn't he do that super celebration in FA Cup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
When it was like 6-0.
Yeah, everyone was like, relax, bro. You're like one non-league ground with partners.
But yeah, I want to give Garcia props, man. Like he's done well at Fulham. Like it's his 3rd
Yes.
time in the Premiership.
Garcia
Yeah,
or Marcus Silva.
that guy.
And we have
Is
another
that
hat-trick.
Anyway,
Keith, man.
anyway. But yeah, he's been at Everton and Watford previously. Kind of struggled a bit. He seems to have kind of found his feet at Fulham. So
Nah, he's done well. They're playing nice football as well.
Yeah.
I mean, props just for getting Willian playing ball again,
yeah,
right? Properly. You know, that was a big gamble.
Well,
Left Corinthians early. It was looking like he was on that Brazilian trajectory out, and he's come back and done his thing.
I feel like he could have done that at Arsenal,
He
but
could
he
have.
just wasn't. It just wasn't
It's the
right.
coach, bro.
I just feel like that team, bro. That team
Was
wasn't
the coach
right.
not the team, not the coach?
It was the whole team, bro. I think it was the whole. He weren't the coach. It was the whole team. Bro.
But if you had done well, the coach would have been the reason.
Nah, it's not even. Not even.
I'm just checking.
Not
I just
even.
want.
you got
Just
to
clarity.
ask the
wanted to
questions,
be
didn't it?
equal.
Just
I
clarity.
just wanted to be
It
equal.
was the
That's
whole
all.
team. Man.
Ask the questions.
All right. Brentford, Newcastle. Brentford at home.
Good game.
Newcastle.
You reckon?
If
I
Bruno
don't know,
cooks,
you
man.
know.
I'm
I
going
don't know.
Brentford.
I think
going Brentford
Newcastle are 2 players away from a serious
Who? I think
Champions League
When they get in Champions League, they're going crazy.
Champions League
push.
Do you
A
think they can do
serious,
it?
like not just we're on the skirts and we might nick it. No,
being regular top 4.
But they're in the push now. They're
in the push.
Yeah, do you think they can do it? Do you think they can do it this season?
I don't think.
Yeah, I reckon they will.
To maintain it.
Yeah,
You say that, but they had a very good first half of the season. They've had their dip. You could say they've got no distractions now to the end of the season. Why can't they replicate the form they had at the start?
No, he said they're gonna nick it. You're saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, you means after following season,
maintaining it and sustaining.
Oh,
it.
sorry.
And you think it's only 2 players?
Yeah, but once
I think
they're in it, they've got the money to get whoever they want.
Yeah.
I think it's more than 2 players though.
I think it's more than 2 players.
Yeah,
bro.
That team that is now isn't
replaced.
good enough to sustain getting into Champions League
You
consistently.
think so? They've
Can't be
they've
playing-
got solid defense.
Murphy and them,
Botman,
man.
Trippier.
They need to replace.
No disrespect, bro. No disrespect, but come on, man.
I mean,
That's not top 4 regular
I
material.
had something that Eddie Howe's not really. Maybe I might have misheard it, but Sam Maximan, Eddie Howe's not really.
Feeling
Well, it's not even
there's a possibility he might look to push him.
You don't even have
I don't know.
It doesn't
Maybe
have
I
to be a
misheard,
quote. You can just look at how much game time he's not getting.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
He started
against
yesterday.
Man
He
United.
started yesterday,
No,
but he
yesterday.
came off.
Yeah, to be fair,
He gave Dallo a horrid time. But
Yeah,
he did,
I think
man.
Sir Maximan is just his end product, man. If he had more consistent end product, he would be an
Bruv,
absolute nonsense.
I don't care. I do not want to play against a man that's
Yeah,
doing
it's
all of
That's
that.
direct.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
true.
that.
Not interested, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's
Not
of the
interested.
same ilk as Nunes. They're just chaos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chaos.
Yes.
They
But
just.
imagine if you got his end product up just 20%. You're
Do you know
laughing
what's
as a
mad?
team.
Do you know what's mad? I don't even want him to have end product in terms of like shooting.
No, I mean in terms of he's
As
crossing the ball and
providing.
finding passes.
Decision making.
Yeah.
Because if you
Decision
watch
making.
him and you're like, pass it,
There you
pass
go.
it, pass it.
I think maybe
It's like
not
you can see the
necessarily end
clock
product,
decision-making.
Decision-making.
Yes,
That's
yes,
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like you can see
When
the
to
cogs
release
working
the
in the
ball.
brain about what
yeah,
he
you're
can
right
do
actually,
next.
because
Which
when he
essentially
does
is the same
execute, he
thing.
normally does it
Right.
well. It's the decision before, yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so Villa Forest. Sorry, Forest.
Villa.
So you're finished. And then Southampton at home to Manchester City, which you've touched on already. I think
Is that 5:30 or 3?
5:30.
Anything can
I'm
happen.
not gonna lie, we talked about this before. Manchester City at a lower team. 5:30 Saturday,
what's
is
that?
tricky.
Man City against who?
Southampton.
Who's at home?
Southampton.
Anything
See,
can happen.
remember I
man.
said this in the group as well. I said Southampton, Brighton and Brentford.
Mm.
Something's going to happen
Yeah.
with Man City in those
There's something
3
about
games,
City in those
bro.
games.
And
Well, like the
Southampton
Forest
are a
game.
dodgy team, bro.
Bro, still.
They'll just turn up that day. James
Shea
Ward-Prowse.
Adams and them, man.
Yeah.
Ward Prowse and
One
And then
ball
they'll
in
go to
behind.
somewhere like Villa and do
One ball in
nonsense.
behind, you got Walcott just sprinting towards your goal. He may score, he may not. But
Free kicks.
anything can happen, bro.
Walcott
It's
and
a
them, man.
lottery,
There,
man.
that doesn't
When you
matter
put the
this
ball in
one
that thing
day.
and turn it round. That's basically when Walcott's through on goal. That's what it is. All right, and then you get to Sunday, Leeds Palace. I'm on Roy watch. I'm on Palace every game rest of the season now.
I
doing
think they
well
might
so
get
far.
dragged in. I think they might get
100%.
dragged
I'm
in.
on Roy watch, bro. Doesn't keep them up. Steve Parish.
I jumped the gun the other day, innit, when they scored their goal. Like, telling you
Yeah,
about
what did he
yourself.
say? What did he say in the
Telling
group?
you
Right,
Yeah, but he was
paragraph.
in there typing,
Paragraph.
bruv. Smoking
Getting
the
excited,
spoon.
and then
Yeah.
and then what
Then
happened?
they
And
got
then he had
slapped.
to come back
Palace
in there and
came
say,
back.
"Oh, ignore me."
And then of
Yeah.
course, Sky know what they're doing. All the TV guys know what they're doing. The last game of the weekend is Liverpool Arsenal, so which you talked about. So yeah,
I'm nervous, boy.
I think that can go
Jeez.
either way, man.
They can't.
Like, I know it's been a bit of a touchy place for
We
you
need to win that, bro.
arrive at last 4 or 5 years. But yeah, like I say, Arteta's breeds a new kind of confidence in you,
Yeah.
man.
If both
If
teams
you
show
nicked
up,
it-
we win the game. We win this game.
Form is out the window
Yeah,
nowadays.
I almost
bro.
don't want you to do well
Don't
against
matter.
Chelsea
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's true.
Actually, I want you to do
It
well
don't
against
matter. It
Chelsea.
don't matter. We could batter Chelsea 4-0 tomorrow and lose on Sunday.
No,
Yeah.
but that's what I want. I think we're more likely to beat you if you win tomorrow. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if you lose again tomorrow, you're coming on Sunday.
Exactly.
Are you at home tomorrow?
At home.
Winning,
No,
we're losing
we're
3 in a
away
row.
tomorrow.
That's
Yeah, exactly. So I actually want you to do well tomorrow against Chelsea. It would be like when you beat Man United 7-0 and then the week after. Those two, isn't it? I need the same. So yeah, interesting week. Let's see if we get any more managerial movements, see if anyone gets appointed in the next week or so. It's a packed schedule. So I think these teams, if you fire the manager, to the point team made earlier, you got a decision to make. Ride out of your interim or get someone in. Palace got someone in quickly, Roy. let's see what Spurs and co do. Chelsea haven't got much left to fight for. So yeah, that's it, boys. Thanks everybody.
Been another good pod.
We'll be back next week Monday, and next week is going to be very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Very.
Even if it's a 0-0 draw in that Liverpool Arsenal game, the conversation.
I see 2-1, 3-2.
I'm annoyed I won't be here, so I might have to call
Don't worry,
in.
man.
We're taking cool.
I'll rep. Don't worry, man.
You say
Either way.
you're going to zoom in, yeah?
Might have to
Don't worry,
zoom
if we beat you, I'll probably be calling you.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have a choice,
Right.
bro.
I'm going to get flogged next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be keep by himself.
I'll be asking Brett, bro.
That's his back as well.
Them Zoom, get him on the Zoom, make it all nice and tidy.
Just
Wherever
put him on that
you are,
screen
pick
there,
up the phone on Monday night when I call you, yeah? And if we lose, I think
Airplane
Oli
mode.
keeps coming to the
Predictions?
studio.
Yeah, good shout. Let's do predictions.
Predictions?
Liverpool, Arsenal?
Yeah.
3-1 Arsenal.
3-0 Liverpool.
Wow. Do you actually believe that?
No, we don't.
You don't believe that? Just don't.
No, we don't.
Wow.
No, we
Let's give him
don't.
another chance. Go again.
He's going to start fasting tomorrow. He's going to start fasting tomorrow.
Nah, it's cool.
No.
Don't give him another chance.
No,
we can clip that.
We'll clip it, but let's give him another chance.
no,
so we
I'm
can say
standing on it.
yes.
I'm standing on it.
All right,
Standing
go
I'm
on it.
going 2-0 Arsenal.
Nice,
I'm going 3-1.
To Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. This is 3-1 Arsenal. Wait.
2-1 Liverpool.
Do you believe that as well?
Why
Seriously?
though? Why do you actually think that?
Because it's
Because you're a
Anfield.
Liverpool fan.
And we always beat you at Anfield.
A 2-1 it could happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
3-0.
Yeah,
Man,
he's taking the
respect
mick.
yourself.
Like, I
Listen,
think you got to
hold
look
on.
at, even if you look at the game at Emirates, you didn't blitz us.
No, you lot
And-
turned up for that game.
You lot
The penalty that you got was very dubious.
It is what it is, but
That's what it is, man.
I can admit you lot turned up out of nowhere because you lot was terrible.
Mhm.
Then you turned up when it come to us like always,
Mhm.
but we come through it.
4:30, floodlights, Anfield.
Listen,
Okay, no,
that- the
2, I don't
group
think
chat
2 was
is-
outrageous, but
It's not.
3-0, we're not going to score. The way we've been scoring this season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
we've been mad, bro.
We've been scoring
3-0.
average 3-4 in the last couple of games, bro.
Martinelli and Saka.
Even
He's
just get
been
your sisters
rested.
out, innit?
Listen,
He's been rested.
Listen,
You
I
know
just
who's
wanna-
been rested.
that the group chat is it better be active. I don't want to see. I don't want to see silence or
No, I will be on WhatsApp on my laptop. That's how they're serious.
All right,
Yeah?
so
I'll be on there.
no,
I'll be
no.
Active.
Facts.
Trust me.
3-0, you know.
I just just relax Sunday, yeah? Because you like to come for us, Mr. Salah. Just
We're
chill,
good,
bro.
man. We're good.
Just
We're
chill.
alright.
I bet he rolls at Saliba on Sunday. I bet that's his.
Yeah,
like,
even. Yeah,
I thought you were out for the
like
season.
that. Nah,
Nah,
nah.
He's gonna be
he's out
managed.
for the season.
No,
All right, playing
still.
pet mind games, yeah?
He's going to be managed. No, he said he's going to be managed. Sorry, Rob, but I don't want to see you touch pitch Sundays too. I don't want to see Rob holding out there.
Bro,
He was good.
He wasn't.
He was
good
alright.
against,
He was alright. He was
Leeds.
alright. He was alright.
That was Leeds, bro.
He was alright.
No, it's
Speaking about defenders, I can see Virgil van Titus Bramble doing a masterclass.
What kind of name was that?
Ooh, you know who's
Wow.
back? G. What's his name? GJ9.
Who the hell is that?
Oh,
Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus.
You don't
I
even
haven't
know.
got a ring to it. Let's
Yeah, yeah.
never use that
tried the
again.
thing, innit?
No. Let's
Yeah,
never
do that
use
again.
that again.
Let's never do that again.
You're
GJ9.
not in the market in the park.
GJ9.
Never.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Jesus, innit?
Gabby.
All right, nice one, lads.
All right, boys.
Listen,
that's all,
listen. Before, most importantly, thank you to everyone that's been, supporting us so far.
Facts. Thank you, man.
All the views, the listens. As ever, please subscribe, follow on whichever platform you're
All of
comfortable
them.
with. And as T said, even better would be if you went on all of them and followed and subscribed. And until next week.
Indeed. Keep the comments coming. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you next time after Arsenal beat Liverpool. Peace.
Peace.